Welcome to Anime T23, where we dive deep into the most intriguing what-if scenarios in the anime universe. In today's episode, in a world where he was cast aside, ignored, and neglected, Naruto Uzumaki is about to uncover the darkest secrets of his lineage and awaken the most dangerous eyes the world has ever seen. But will the power of the Sharingan save him from the village's scorn, or will it consume him entirely? What if Naruto was neglected by his family and had the strongest Sharingan? Part 4. Flashback and Jutsu line 2 days later. Naruto and his team stood in single file while they awaited the fourth Hokage. Naruto looked up and started to eye all the competition. So many teams passed. All 4 rookie teams, 3 more Leaf teams, 1 Sand, and that Sound team. Naruto, having the luck of being in the far back corner, had the perfect position to get a good look on everything. His eyes fell on the boy with the sand gourd. To others it may look like an ordinary gourd, but Naruto could see the chakra flowing in it. The first time Naruto was amazed by the ingenious idea of making the gourd out of sand. While it may sound like a waste of chakra, it could end up being his last ace in the hole. Yet that wasn't what had Naruto so uneasy. It was the tension he brought to was like everywhere he went you could feel the change in air around him. The only reason Naruto hadn't noticed it was because the way his comrades acted around him. His 2 own teammates, his siblings, feared him so much. His sensei seemed to make sure to stay out of his way. Even now his sensei was trying his best to not catch his gaze. All of this had made Naruto very uneasy. Add in their little confrontation earlier in the week had made Naruto very suspicious of the boy. Naruto kept eyeing the boy not with fear or anger, but with curiosity. Who exactly are you, Gar Shibaki? The only thing I've been able to figure out is you're an opponent greatly feared by his own comrades. Why are you so feared? Gaara stood there looking forward, without a single change in his facial expression. Though he had been able to catch the watchful eye of Naruto Uzumaki, that look isn't one of fear or hate. Then I will make him fear me. A small smile crept on Gaara's face, which rushed panic into his sensei. Baki, having seen the little smile, had sent chills down his spine. That look, I know it too well. He's already found someone he's interested in. Then suddenly the appearance of the fourth Hokage took everyone's attention. The fourth Hokage stepped forward in front of all the Jounin senseis. He was followed by a sickly-looking Jounin. The fourth Hokage stepped in front of all the genin as he searched for 2 people. Both Naruto and Mito's team made it. His stareful eyes stayed on Naruto for a second longer. Then they quickly looked around the room for 3 more people, Miyuki, Isura, Sasuke, Uchiha, and Naruto. I need to keep a very close eye on these 4, especially Sasuke, since he had already received the cursed seal. Flashback, no jutsu. Minato stood in a room in the highest point of the tower. Behind him stood the third Hokage sitting on the couch with Anko. Turning around, he fired some questions. Anko, first I want to tell you, what you did was very foolish. There is no need for you to throw away your life like that. I know you hate Orochimaru, but don't allow that hate to cloud your judgment. Anko looked up at the fourth Hokage. I'm sorry, Lord Hokage. I probably should have waited for backup before trying to look for him. Minato nodded his head. So, did you figure out why he was here? Anko continued to rub the mark on her neck. He was after someone that could fulfill his ambitions. Minato raised an eyebrow. Ambitions? His obsession with learning every ninjutsu in the world is what drives him. He wants the Sharingan and said he managed to mark someone, explained Anko. The third Hokage stood up and looked out the window. So he's after the Uchiha then. The only ones to have awakened the Sharingan are Miyuki Uchiha, Isura Uchiha, Sasuke Uchiha, and Naruto. Uzumaki. All 4 of them are in the chunin exams. The fourth Hokage flinched a little at the name of his own son, so it would just be best if we end the exams. A threat like that can't be left unattended. Orochimaru said that if you guys end the exam, he would attack the village, added in Anko. The third Hokage rubbed his temples. I should have killed him long ago. I shouldn't have allowed him to escape that night. Maybe if I would have allowed you to handle him, Minato, maybe you could have taken him down. It does us no good to dwell about the past, Hiruzen, replied Minato. The older Hokage took a long puff out of his pipe. I think it would be best to just continue the exams. What? Lord Third, I'm sure the fourth Hokage could handle Orochimaru, said Anko as she stood up. The fourth Hokage moved his hands through his hair. That may true, Anko, but Orochimaru is no idiot. He must have a plan if he was bold enough to infiltrate the chunin exams. The best course of action is to wait and see what will happen. Anko, clench your fists. All right, but we should at least do something about the one who was marked. The fourth Hokage looked at the two chunin in the back of the room. Kotetsu, Izuma, have you figured out who it is? Kotetsu stepped forward and talked. So far, Miyuki Uchiha and Isura Uchiha have completed the second exam. We found no signs of a curse mark being put on them. Naruto Uzumaki has also finished the second exam, and also has no signs of a cursed mark. The only one yet to complete the second exam is Sasuke Uchiha, a silence brewed that had one thought through their minds. Itachi's brother. Flashback. No, Jutsu the fourth Hokage coughed very loudly. All right, everyone pay attention. For those who don't know, I am Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage of the village hidden in the leaves. Today I come forward to congratulate you for passing the second phase of the exams. The fourth Hokage watched as many smug faces begun to appear on many of the genins. Now I come to explain the third part of the exams. Before I do that, I must explain the real purpose behind these exams. Sakura rose her hand. What do you mean, real purpose? Aren't these exams supposed to decide whether or not we become chunin? Yes, but there's more to it than that. Before the chunin exams, many of the nations here today were not allies. We were enemies in war. Today, the chunin exams are a replacement for war. The next exams will be one-on-one battles, where all of you will put your life on the lines. Not just for yourselves, but to represent your respectful village, explained Minato. Replacement for war, shouted out Kiba. Minato looked at the young Inuzuka. Yes, these exams are meant to replace war. You show your village's prestige by competing at these exams. That's what the third round is all about. Now I will thoroughly explain the third exadash. The sickly-looking Jounin stepped forward. Allow me to speak first, Lord Fourth. Minato gave him a nod. Go ahead. The sickly Jounin gave a very loud cough, which had many genins questioning his ability as a Jounin. My name is Hate, and I will be your proctor for the third exam. Before we start the third round, we must first have a preliminary round. A preliminary round? Shouted Shikamaru. Ino then groaned. Don't we get a break first? We just finished the second exams. Sensei? I don't understand this preliminary rounds. Why can't we all pass? Asked Sakura. Hate gave a small cough. As you look around, you might notice that 9 teams, a total of 27 people have passed. I guess you could say the first 2 exams were too easy. We never actually expected so many to pass. Since there are going to be so many important people at the third exams, we can't waste their time. So those who don't feel up to the challenge can leave now. Naruto looked around trying to look for indications for anyone leaving. There's no way someone would quit after coming so far. Then suddenly the bickering of Sakura and Sasuke caught his attention. Sasuke, you need to quit the exams. You haven't been the same since Orochimaru placed that mark on you, begged Sakura. Sasuke just scowled. Stop worrying, Sakura. Naruto's seal is still holding. Naruto told me it wouldn't be permanent. You need someone with higher knowledge of the seal, or else you risk allowing the mark taking over, countered Sakura. Sasuke just gripped his neck. Just stay out of it. But Sasuke Sakura was cut off when Naruto spoke up. Sakura, you're right about my seal not being complete. The seal relies mostly on Sasuke's will to fight off the cursed seal, but my evil sealing method seal isn't the completed version. Once it's broken, he won't be able to fight it off, or reseal it by will. Sasuke gave Naruto a dirty look, while Sakura grew a smile. Naruto will convince him. Yet that isn't a reason for Sasuke to quit, pronounced Naruto. Sasuke gave a sigh. and Sakura glared at Naruto. Though Naruto ignored it, you need to trust in Sasuke's ability to not fall in temptation of the mark. If you can't trust Sasuke to pull his own in this exam, then how can you call yourself his teammate? A teammate is someone who will trust his own comrades. Sakura's eyes fell down to the ground. I'm just worried. Sakura, no one knows Sasuke's ability better than himself. As I said, you need to trust him. Have faith that he will quit when he knows it's over. 'Cause I do. Explained Naruto as he turned his attention back to the front. Sakura just quieted down and looked forward, and Sasuke gave Naruto a thankful nod. All the higher-ranked ninja had been watching the whole affair. Anko then looked at the fourth Hokage. Do you honestly believe your son managed to seal the cursed seal? The fourth Hokage was about to respond when Yamato did for him. Don't underestimate my genin, Anko. Naruto's skill in Fuinjutsu probably surpasses most jounin in the village. Though how much? You did hear. He only used a lesser version of the real sealing jutsu. That's very impressive for a genin to create. But how sure can we be? Asked Ibiki. Anko just gritted her teeth. I still vow that we just hand him over to AMBU Black Ops and have them handle him. Do you really think that he will comply with that? He is an Uchiha. We should just place our trust in Naruto's seal for now. Once the exam is over, I will place a stronger one pitched in Kakashi. Anko turned angrily toward Kakashi. Are you crazy? If the seal was to break during the exam, who knows what will happen? We need to take care of this problem now. Anko, calm down, ordered the fourth. We will go with Kakashi's plan for now. Once his matchup is over, Kakashi will finish the seal. I will put my trust in my son's seal and allow him to compete, Anko growled. Fine, Lord Fourth. Orochimaru in his disguise gave a small smile. Hee. It doesn't matter if your brat's sealed at Minato. Sasuke will fall to the temptation to the seal regardless. Then suddenly the hand of a participant rose in the air. Everyone looked a bit shocked seeing someone forfeit. Hate coughed before he looked through his clipboard. Kabuto Yakushi, you wish to leave the exams? Yes, replied Kabuto. Hate nodded. You are free to leave. Naruto missed the last words of Hate as he watched Kabuto leave. What's your game? 7th try and you just quit. With so much knowledge, you could probably take on most genin here. He was brought back to reality when he heard a long noise from the front. Looking up, he noticed an electric board going off, and suddenly it stopped on 2 names. Yakumo Kurama versus Yoroi Kato will be our first match, shouted out Hate. Naruto walked up to his teammate. Good luck, Yakumo. See you on the other side. Yakumo got the message and smiled a bit. Didn't think I would ever go first. Thanks. Side also walked up. This guy doesn't look like much. You can handle him, Yakumo, Hate, then proceeded to direct everyone. All right, everyone else will go up the stairs to the 2 platforms. You will each be accompanied by your Jounin sensei. Naruto and Sai gave Yakumo one last reassuring smile and went up the stairs to meet up with Yamato sensei. Naruto and Sai ended up walking halfway down the platform, in between Kakashi's team and Guy's team. He suddenly felt Sasuke stand by him. So how much do you think your seal will hold? Naruto shrugged his shoulder. I can't be exact. Just don't use too much chakra at once. You can use your Sharingan, but don't use any high-level justice. Then Kakashi butted into the conversation. What happens if your seal breaks, Naruto? Sasuke grinned. So you know? If it breaks, then the cursed seal will begin to take place. Theoretically, if Sasuke doesn't use any chakra, there should be no problem. But if he was in the middle of battle, the seal could take over, explained Naruto. Sasuke rose an eyebrow. Could? Yeah. The cursed seal kind of feeds of your negative emotions. If you can block out those emotions with stronger ones, then you can overcome the cursed seal, explained Naruto. Kakashi lectured Sasuke, regardless, if the cursed seal takes over. I'll let you know I will have to stop the fight. Sasuke quieted down after that, then he spoke up again. Let's just watch Yakumo's fight for now. Naruto looked forward before he was tapped on the shoulder by Yamato. So how are the exams? Naruto looked up at Yamato. We had some trouble, I'll tell you later. Yakumo's match is about to begin. Yamato accepted the answer and watched the fight. Much to Sai's thoughts about the guys were very accurate. Yoroi had surprised Yakumo with his special ability, but Yakumo had been able to easily counter. After a bit of running around, she effectively caught him under a genjutsu. The match had been a quick one, with Yakumo as winner. As she cheered, many were surprised by the skill of genjutsu. Korean eyes stared at her old student. "You've surely grown, Yakumo." Yakumo walked up to her team. "Ha, look at that. I guess I'll be seeing you guys in the next exam." "Good job, Yakumo," spoke both Naruto and Sai. Yamato gave her a reassuring smile. "That was excellent, Yakumo. Great use of genjutsu. Though I think I have an idea on what you need to work on." Yakumo laughed awkwardly. "My taijutsu, huh?" "Yes, you were lucky your opponent only had one trick down his sleeve," explained Yamato. Then suddenly Hate shouted to the whole room, "The next matchup will be Shino Aburame versus Zaku Abumi." Naruto eyed the sound genin and Shino. Then the match begun. Shino commanded a multitude of insects to attack Zaku from behind. Zaku had been caught a bit off guard and allowed a few to crawl on him. He then used those tubes in his hands to blow the insects away. The match continued in similar fashion until Shino stopped running around. Zaku rose his hands to lay a killing blow, but to his surprise he was unable to do anything. As it turned out, Shino had been slowly clogging his tube holes. Zaku, not wanting to concede, decided to force the jutsu, resulting in him blowing off both of his arms. The match ended in Shino's favor. Shino isn't the strongest in the bunch, but he's very smart. "The third match will be Masumi Tsurugi versus Kankuro Shibiki," said Hate. Naruto really paid attention to this fight. Wanting to know about the Sand team, he learned one thing from this fight. They were each quite talented. Kankuro had managed to win the fight in less than 5 minutes. Having disguised himself as his puppet, he had easily managed to trap the Leaf Ninja, who was also one-trick pony, much like his teammate. Even though Kankuro's opponent wasn't that talented, that was still impressive. Though I can already tell his arrogance will be his fall, similar to many here. Hate drew the next names. The fourth match will be Sakura Haruno versus Ino Yamanaka, much to everyone's dismay. The match was a very boring one. Naruto had fallen asleep halfway through, missed most of the match. He awoke just in time to see each kunoichi knock each other out. Naruto sighed. "Is it over?" Yakumo smacked Naruto across the head. "Don't be so rude, Naruto. Can't really blame Whiskers, Yakumo. I mean, you could probably take them both out in less of a minute," defended Sai. Yakumo just put her hands on her hips. "That doesn't matter," said. "It's a sign of respect." "Sensei." Yamato, having seen the girl in one of her fits, decided just to stay out of it. "Sure." "Sensei, back me up," demanded Yakumo. Yamato just sighed. Well, Yakumo were in a stage where this type of fighting is unacceptable. Had they fought different opponents, they probably would have lost. Very badly. Yakumo conceded defeat. Fine. Whatever. Fifth match, Temari Shibuki versus Tenten, announced Hate. Naruto once again paid closely attention to the Sand Genin. He had started to notice a pattern. If I'm correct, this girl will be very strong in wind attacks. Kankuro uses puppets. Gaara seems to use a modified magnet release. Instead of iron, he uses sand. Then Temari must use wind base attacks, each of them using the famed skills in which Suna is known for. The match had turned out to be a landslide. Tenten, being a weapons specialist, was put against the worst opponent she could get. Temari blew every single thing she threw, taunting her like a little child the whole way. When she finally got serious, she had managed to defeat her with one use of her fan. Naruto's suspicion grew. I haven't seen Gaara's skill, but I'm going to assume he must be very strong. This whole Genin team is at least mid-chunin level, if not low jounin. Why would you send 3 such talented ninja, who could have been promoted earlier and used for better purposes? Yamato had noticed Naruto's distraught face. "Anything wrong, Naruto?" "It's nothing, Sensei. I'm just being a bit paranoid, I guess." responded Naruto. Yamato looked over at Kakashi, and Kakashi looked at him. They both somehow shared one thought. He sees it too. The board lit up, and Hate read of the next match, Shikamaru Nara versus Kintsuchi. Shikamaru crossed Naruto as he walked across, and Naruto said one word, Genjutsu. Shikamaru stopped for a brief second. Thanks. Shikamaru slowly made his way down to the battle arena. Complaining a bit about fighting a girl, Shikamaru toyed around when suddenly he was struck by her genjutsu. Ken had used a string and a bell to cast a genjutsu. Sasuke them grunted. What an idiot to allow himself to be captured. Naruto grinned. On contrary, it's brilliant. Asuma, who was a bit away, heard Naruto. This kid saw through Shikamaru's plan, so this is the one Yamato brags about. I'll look forward to his fight. What are you talking about, Naruto? Asked Yakumo. He's trapped. Naruto motioned toward the shadow. Isn't that string a little high to be casting a shadow? Suddenly, Shikamaru caught Kin with his shadow paralysis jutsu, shocking almost everyone in the room. Then Shikamaru proceeded to knock the girl out by having her bang her head on the wall. Sasuke's eyes were lit. What brilliant strategy. I can't believe I didn't see it coming. Yeah, me too, said Yakumo. Then the board lit alive once again. Hate called down the next opponents. Seventh match will be Mito Namikaze versus Kiba Inuzuka. Naruto looked over at his sister. Good luck. Don't lose. Mito smirked a bit. Don't count me out. I actually want to fight you, Naruto. Naruto smirked. Well, then you're going to have to beat Kiba first. Mito just smiled and jumped down to the arena. As the match progressed, Naruto had noticed Mito's trouble in utilizing her chakra. Mito had tried a few times to use her Rasengan, but with futile effort. Kiba had pounced on every opportunity, but had failed to give the finishing blow. Mito had won by using a shadow clone to help her form a Rasengan. Much to Naruto's annoyance, had gotten a bunch of praise from the whole room. The ingenious idea, which Naruto had shown Mito with a different technique. As Mito walked up to Naruto, I guess I'll be waiting for you in the next round. Don't worry about it. And if I were you, I would tell Mom to get that seal off. The one that's messing with your chakra. Don't want to make you look like a fool. Coolly replied Naruto, which had caused Mito to put her hand on her stomach. So, I can't believe I didn't notice. Mito then walked over to her team and started to talk with both Kakashi and Sasuke. Sakura had just woken up and also joined the conversation. As Naruto looked back toward the arena, he noticed the next match had been called. Byakugan versus Byakugan, an interesting match indeed. Neji and Hinata stood facing each other, Neji with total confidence and Hinata slightly nervous. Neji tried to scare Hinata off, but once the match begun, Hinata went flying toward Neji, taking everyone who knew her by surprise. The intensity she brought amazed Naruto. Even though he could tell that Neji outclassed her, she kept at it. Naruto could see the desire in her eyes to win, so it angered him when Neji begun to spew his nonsense. Hinata was flat on the ground. When Naruto cheered for the first time, "Come on, Hinata. You can't let his punk beat you. Show him who's boss." Hinata looked up at Naruto. He's just like me. If he can do it, so can I. Neji looked over at Naruto. So this is the fourth Hokage's son. Heard he was a bit more laid back. To Neji's surprise, he watched as Hinata once again stood up and pressed the attack. Neji just shook his head, and in a few moves knocked her back onto her back. Hinata, you can't change fate. You know very well that you're too weak. That they even picked your younger sister over you as the clan heir. The main house is your main problem. Naruto's fist clenched on the metal railing, and his Sharingan roared to life. This action didn't go unnoticed by Minato, who was watching on the sides. Hate then decided to call the match. This match is over. Winner Neji Hyuga. Then to everyone's surprise, Hinata stood back up, wiping the blood out of her mouth. Neji, the one lost and suffering because of the destiny of the main house, is not me. But you? Neji's Byakugan lit up as he raced toward Hinata. Every jounin in the room raced to block Neji, but they weren't quick enough. Kurenai's eyes widened. Oh no. Hinata! Everyone watched as Neji's blow connected into Hinata's heart, and then suddenly she exploded in a flock of crows. Isura, who had been watching by his teammates, was clenched his fists. That was a Sharingan Genjutsu. Kurenai, Guy, Kakashi, and Hade, who had gone forward to stop Neji, had one word through their mind: fast. Then suddenly the birds flew back into a group, and Naruto appeared not too far away, his Sharingan eyes blazing, which caused Neji to lash out at him. So the main house gets special treatment? Ha! Guy then glared down Neji. You said you wouldn't let this main and branch thing get to you, Neji. Neji shrugged of Guy and glared at Naruto. Well, I guess it's expected. People who share the same fate stick together. I mean, wasn't your spot as clan heir also taken by your younger sister, Naruto Namikaze? And Uzumaki? Mito glared daggers at Neji, while Minato tried not to look down at his feet ashamed. Naruto then let out a little chuckle, Hinata still in his hands. I guess you're right. People like us have to stick together, don't we? Though you sure like to contradict yourself, don't you, Neji? Neji was a bit confused. What are you talking about? You keep saying fate this, fate that, but do you truly believe that? You are of the branch family in the Hyuga family, whose purpose is to protect the main branch. I'm not saying I agree with the system, but I know you don't. You just tried to kill a member of the main branch. Well, after the match was called. Don't you think that's a bit defying your little destiny? Asked Naruto. Neji didn't say anything, and Naruto handed Hinata over to Kurenai. Kurenai thanked Naruto and rushed to the medics. Naruto didn't wait for a reply, and just walked back to his spot in the stands. Walking over, he leaned against the railing and didn't say a word. Those around him got the message and let him be. Once the arena was cleared, the board lit up again. Sasuke Uchiha versus Miyuki Uchiha will be the 9th match. Naruto and Sasuke both looked at each other. This must be the other Uchiha. I can't believe I didn't notice it, spoke Naruto. He then looked over at her spot in the stance and noticed her. Naruto then caught the glare of her teammate. Look at that, they're both here, and it looks like the boy has an extra dose of the Thames. Sasuke eyed the two. Do you think they have the Sharingan? Probably. They're a year older than us, and they look like they want to eat me. I don't think they know about yours, so use that to your advantage, spoke Naruto. Sasuke nodded his head. Any more advice? Watch the amount of chakra you use. Don't let your seal break. Besides that, don't break a leg. Naruto then slapped him in the back, causing him to fall over the railing. Sasuke tumbled over, causing most of the room to laugh at him. He then turned around and glared at Naruto. Naruto gave him a smile and shrugged his shoulders. Sasuke suddenly heard a laugh from behind. So this is the talented Sasuke Uchiha? Are you really part of the Uchiha clan? Sasuke's expression turned around and eyed the girl. How do I know you're from the Uchiha clan? You could be fake yourself. Hade covered his mouth, trying to cover up a small cough. Sasuke Uchiha versus Miyuki Uchiha. You can begin now. Hade jumped away, and Sasuke and Miyuki stared each other down. Then Miyuki pulled out some shuriken and threw them at Sasuke. Sasuke quickly moved and threw his own shuriken to block hers. He then rushed forward at quick speeds. Sasuke was easily able to overcome her taijutsu when suddenly she managed to block one of his strikes. Looking up at her eyes, Sasuke noticed a change in her eyes. The Sharingan, so she does have it. Jumping back, he flashed through some hand seals, and the girl did the same. Fire release. Fireball jutsu, both Miyuki and Sasuke unleashed an enormous fireball and canceled each other's techniques. Sasuke then activated his own Sharingan and stared down the girl. So you do have the Sharingan. It looks like you do too. This might actually be a bit of fun, said Miyuki as she raced towards Sasuke. Sasuke then weaved some hand signs. Fire release. Phoenix Fire Jutsu, he spit out a barrage of small fireballs, though Miyuki managed to dodge each one. Sliding under one, she weaved some hand signs. Fire release. Great Uchiha fire, then suddenly an enormous storm of fire erupted from her mouth, covering the whole other half of the room. Everyone praised the technique. What a high-level jutsu. Such control over fire, praised Asuma. Kakashi looked down at the match. It seems Sasuke found a great opponent to fight. What happened to Sasuke? Asked Sakura as she looked around. Lee, who was remembering his fight with Sasuke, I guess all Uchiha are quite talented. This girl could probably also beat Tenten. Orochimaru, still in his disguise, was staring at the match in anticipation. Another Uchiha perfect. I would prefer Sasuke, but I wouldn't mind taking this girl. She is fairly talented. Isura looked down at his Uchiha family. They're talented, but they're not on my level. The one I want to face is Naruto Uzumaki. A few strands of black hair fell in front of her eyes. Putting them aside, the smoke begun to clear. As the smoke cleared, she was surprised at no one being there. What? Then suddenly her eyes widened, and she turned around. There, kneeling on one knee, was Sasuke, clutching the back of his neck. That Jinjutsu used too much chakra. How did he do that, sensei? Asked Sakura. Kakashi eyed Sasuke and looked over at Naruto. Jinjutsu. Sasuke used Jinjutsu to make her believe she was targeting him. But in reality, she was targeting nothing. Even I have trouble using those type of Jinjutsu. I wonder where he managed to pick that up. Jinjutsu? Is it really that powerful? Asked Ino as she interrupted the conversation. Yakumo nodded. Genjutsu has unlimited potential because it's only an illusion. The reason it isn't well known is because it's a very difficult skill. Though once you can master it, it can be a very powerful tool. Though the Sharingan can take it to another level. It's much easier to direct the Genjutsu, added in Naruto. Sasuke then looked at the girl, and over at Naruto. I need to finish this quick. As he looked over at Naruto, his eyes suddenly lingered over to Lee. That's it. He then felt a trail of shuriken and kunai thrown at him. Sasuke stood up and ran forward. Jumping and sidestepping, he managed to dodge all the thrown objects. He then once again engaged Miyuki in hand-to-hand combat. Miyuki was able to find an opening and threw a punch. Though as she was inches away from punching Sasuke, he suddenly disappeared. Her eyes widened. Dancing leaf shadow? Then she was kicked straight into the air. Sasuke landed on the ground on all fours and launched himself in the air. He then appeared slightly underneath her. As they both floated through the air, he placed 2 fingers in her back. Then suddenly he felt the power of the seal begun to collapse. Naruto, who had been watching, grew worried. Did he open the first gate? Unleashing that much chakra could very well burst the seal. Every Jounin watched with anticipation as the seal begun to slowly come apart. Then the cursed seal begun to slowly cover his body. Is this as far as he will go? Wondered Kakashi. Orochimaru smiled under his disguise. Hee. Now Sasuke, show me that Uchiha power. Sasuke felt the cursed seal slowly take over his chakra. As it covered his body, he began to think, am I really going to allow this seal to take over? I've worked so hard. How am I ever supposed to overcome him? I promised myself I won't walk the same path as him, and I still won't. I have too much to lose. I won't allow myself to become someone else's puppet. As Sasuke's resolve grew, the cursed mark began to fall back. Feeling the cursed seal gone, Sasuke gave a little smirk. This isn't exactly an original move, but from now on it's all original. Miyuki tried to turn around, but her effort was futile as her body reacted to block a punch thrown to her left side. Sasuke then smirked and unleashed a barrage of strategically thrown punches and kicks. He then ended it with an axe heel kick right into her stomach. Lion's barrage. Miyuki spit out blood as she was knocked out. Sasuke skidded across the ground until the wall stopped him. Standing back up, Sasuke looked over at his work. Hey, check on the girl and stood up. Winner Sasuke Uchiha. Way to go, Sasuke, shouted Sakura, and Ino Mito just gave him a smile, while Yakumo cheered. Naruto and Sai just rolled their eyes. Girls. Naruto then felt Kakashi disappear. Looking down, he noticed Kakashi was standing right behind him. They exchanged a few words before Kakashi walked him out of the arena. Meanwhile, Lee was gripping the rail. He managed to copy my move perfectly. After only seeing it once, The power behind his eyes is amazing. It makes me feel kind of uneasy. Guy noticed the student's hesitation. Lee, it doesn't matter how many moves you can copy. If you can't put the hard work behind it, there's no way he can beat you. If his body isn't strong enough to endure the pain, then it would be impossible for him to master it. Naruto Uzumaki versus Isura Uchiha yelled out hate. Naruto looked over at his opponent and could see the anticipation in his eyes. Jumping over the rail, he landed in front of Hate. Isura followed close behind. Isura stared down Naruto and just smiled. "Are you ready to lose?" "Are you always as cocky?" asked Naruto. "I will show everyone today that my Sharingan is superior to yours," Naruto Uzumaki stated Isura. Naruto looked him in the eye. "We'll see about that." Orochimaru allowed some of his tongue to come out of his mouth. "Kakuku, this is too perfect. Now I get a chance to see the other Sharingan users go at it. I wonder if either one of them are better than Sasuke. If both contestants are ready, then you may begin," directed Hate. Naruto and Isura stood there staring each other down for a moment. Naruto just kept observing his hateful eyes. "What's this kid's problem? I guess I'm going to have to beat it out of him." Naruto pulled out a kunai and chucked it at Isura. Isura easily caught it with one hand. Activating his Sharingan, he asked, "Are you ready?" Then he disappeared. Naruto turned around and blocked a barrage of kunai and shuriken. Dancing around, he was barely able to notice that some of them had paper bombs attached on them. Forming a hand seal, he shined out of there. Appearing on top of the statue on one side of the room, he was able to watch the enormous explosion. That blinded the room. Suddenly, he felt someone creep up behind him. Pulling out a kunai, he blocked Isura's attack. Jumping back into the open space, he activated his Sharingan. "You're kinda quick." Isura smirked. "So you finally activated your Sharingan. It won't matter if you have 3 tomo in your eyes. I will still beat you." Ino, who had been watching out loud, asked, "What's so special about the number of tomo they have?" Sai looked into her direction. "The Sharingan must go through a series of stages before it could reach its full potential. You start off with 1 tomo and work your way up to 3. Once you've obtained the 3rd tomo, you can say that you've mastered the Sharingan. Naruto is probably the only genin here who has mastered the Sharingan. That's why many of the other Uchiha are so anxious to fight him." "But Naruto isn't even an Uchiha. How does he have the Sharingan?" asked Sakura. Mito suddenly felt a bunch of eyes look into her direction. She just looked around and shrugged her shoulders. "I don't know. He's had them for a long time. I think when we started the academy, he had already managed to awaken it. I suppose it would have to be since the Namikaze clan is a cousin clan to the Uchiha. I've never really asked him." "Why not?" asked Yakumo. Mito just looked down at her feet. "I don't know." Naruto looked at Isura and asked a question. "Why are you so devoted in beating me? What do you want to prove?" "It's because you, who are a non-Uchiha, managed to already master the Sharingan. If I want to defeat someone, I must prove that I can beat you," stated Isura as he pulled out more kunai. Naruto was going to respond, but suddenly he felt someone pierce him in the back. Turning around, he heard a poof in the front, a shadow clone. "Naruto!" screamed Yakumo. Yamato and Sai couldn't believe it. "There's no way." Isura had his kunai embedded right into Naruto's heart. "Yeah, and it looks like it did the trick. I can see the hate in your eyes, Isura. The path you're choosing to walk is a very dangerous one. I would just give up on that hate," said Naruto as he coughed a little blood. Isura just smirked. "You think I care about that? The only thing I want to do in life is kill that man. And look at me, I managed to take you down in one simple blow." Naruto looked at him in the eye. "Did you?" Then suddenly Naruto exploded in a storm of crows. The crows flew behind him and reformed back into Naruto. Isura growled, "I can't believe I fell for such a simple genjutsu." "When did he cast it?" asked Choji. Yakumo looked relieved. "Naruto can cast a genjutsu by just looking you in the eye. Right, Neji?" Neji just gave her an annoyed face. "I guess so." "Let's stop the games and get going," blurted out Naruto as Isura spoke. Achin couldn't agree anymore, pulling out some shuriken and threw them at Naruto and flashed through some hand signs. Fire release. Fire Phoenix Jutsu, the small barrage of fireballs he unleashed, combined with the shuriken. They went at blinding speeds towards Naruto, but not blinding to his Sharingan. Weaving his own hand signs. Water release. Water wall Jutsu. Naruto spit out in water, which created a thick water wall in front of Naruto. The water wall managed to block all of the fire-infused shuriken. As Naruto was in the middle of his jutsu, Isura appeared behind him, weaving some more hand signs. Fire release. Great fireball jutsu. Naruto managed to catch him in the corner of his eye, so this frontal attack was only a distraction. Quickly transitioning to his next jutsu, he flashed through some hand signs. Water release. Tearing torrents. Two enormous torrents of water erupted from the water wall to block the oncoming fireball. The two techniques canceled each other, and Naruto jumped back. "Amazing!" praised Asuma. Shikamaru looked up at his sensei. "What's so impressive, sensei?" Naruto transitioned perfectly into his next jutsu without even dropping his hands to start the next jutsu. "Not even some of our jounin can do it that effectively," explained Asuma. "I always thought Naruto was a nuisance, but he's so good at ninjutsu and genjutsu. I think he may be better than Sasuke," added an Ino. Sai smirked. "No offense to your little duck-haired friend, but Whiskers is better than him. He's the strongest genin I know." Lee, who had been watching, was again thinking to himself, "These are the people I must be able to beat. But Naruto makes me feel so inferior." Gaara, on the other side, was suddenly shaking in excitement. Temari watched his brother and looked down at the redhead. "This Naruto kid is very good. It's making Gaara so excited. This is not good. What if he loses control here?" Isura didn't allow Naruto to breath because he once again flashed through another series of hand signs. Fire release. Dragon bullet technique. An enormous fire dragon erupted from Isura's mouth and went flying toward Naruto. Naruto once again flashed through some hand signs. Water release. Water dragon jutsu as the fire dragon passed the enormous puddle of water caused by Naruto's earlier jutsu. A water dragon erupted from it and canceled out the jutsu. A small mist covered the room, and Naruto allowed the mist to clear before attacking. Isura was breathing hard, and Naruto noticed it. He's good at ninjutsu, but how long can he last? "I guess it's time to try out that new technique. You're pretty good at ninjutsu," said Naruto, but Isura managed to catch his breath. "I could say the same about you." "Very good. I can't believe he managed to counter every single one of my jutsus. He's as good as they say. I need to take him out quick," thought Isura. Naruto then looked into Isura's eyes, and Naruto's eyes widened for a brief second. Naruto, slower than usual, flashed through some hand seals. Fire release. Comet Fire. Isura smirked and copied the same jutsu. Fire release. Comet Fire. Naruto and Isura both unleashed an enormous blob of dark fire toward each other. They met halfway and exploded. Isura suddenly felt more confident. "I think I can manage maybe a few more higher techniques." Fire release. Searing migraine. Isura's mouth expanded, and then he released an enormous ball of fire. Naruto watched the jutsu flying toward him. Searing migraine? "I can't let that hit me." Naruto dodged the flying small sphere by inches. As soon as it passed Naruto, the ball of fire exploded. The flames slowly crept onto Naruto as he flashed through the only jutsu that could possibly endure this. Water release. Water prison jutsu. Naruto used the jutsu on himself, and he was covered in a small sphere of water. As the firestorm surrounded him, Naruto stayed unharmed. Isura watched in anticipation, wondering if his jutsu did the trick. As the storm came to a stop, all you could see was a small sphere of water. The sphere of water collapsed and came out Naruto. Naruto coughed some water out and eyed Isura. Isura was amazed. "What a brilliant idea." "What was that?" asked Mito as she looked at her brother. Yamato let out a chuckle. You guys remember the water prison jutsu? The ones Abuza used on Kakashi? Asked Yakumo. Yamato nodded. Yeah. Naruto used the jutsu on himself to counter the fire jutsu. Shikamaru looked down at Naruto. Ugh, there's a reason I can never beat him at shogi. He's so unpredictable. Asuma dropped a cigarette. You can't beat him? I can't beat you. Some snickering was heard around the room as Asuma picked up a cigarette. Never mind, Isura shook that last thought away and flashed through some more hand seals. But suddenly he felt his body stop moving. He felt waves of pain through his body, and then his Sharingan deactivated. Falling on one knee, he started to breath hard. What's going on? Naruto looked at Isura. My jutsu finally did its trick. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Asked Isura frantically. Naruto started to weave some hand seals. Before you copied my jutsu, I placed a genjutsu on you. A genjutsu that made you believe you had more chakra than you actually did. It's called demonic illusion, chakra delisounds. It forced you to use most of the chakra you had into those high-level techniques. I purposely allowed you to copy my technique. Izura's hands were shaking. How is that even possible? How are you so strong? Isura, the reason you lost is because you allow your hatred to drive you. Real strength does not come from one's hatred. It comes from one's ability to care and strive to protect those close to them. I have that someone, and that's what drives me to become stronger in order to protect them. You could say I'm naturally gifted, but I'm not. Since I'm not a full-blooded Uchiha, the Sharingan is much tougher to learn. What would take me a year to learn would probably take you 6 months. I've worked myself to the dirt in order to achieve the strength I have today. I can already tell you're a person that relies too much on their natural talent. That was your downfall. This match is over, replied Naruto as he finished his last hand seal, demonic illusion. World of Glass, Naruto looked Isura in the eye, and he slumped forward. All that you could hear were the grunts of pain he let out. Kurenai was intrigued by the name of the genjutsu, but Yakumo was the one to voice her thoughts. What was that? Naruto looked up at the stands and remembered everyone else. That was the strongest genjutsu in my arsenal. I put him under the illusion where everything is glass. The slightest movement will cause the glass to break, and him receive high amount of pain. Even breathing will cause him some pain. He will either break the genjutsu, or the mental stress will knock him unconscious. As I said, this match is over. Hey looked down at the kid and walked over. This match is over. Naruto Uzumaki is the winner. A medical squad ran in and dispelled the genjutsu. They then proceeded to take Isura out of the room. While Naruto walked back up to his spot, there was a lot of cheering from Yakumo, since his Yamato and Sai weren't really the cheering type. Shikamaru Ino, Sakura, Mito, Asuma, and surprisingly Lee gave him a small cheer. Though as they were celebrating, a bunch of thoughts ran through some people's mind. Minato, who had been watching, wanted to go down and congratulate his son, but he knew he couldn't do that. As Hokage, I can't play favorites. Even so, I doubt Naruto would accept my praise. Though seriously, he's become so strong. His strength is so shocking. Maybe Kushina's idea might work, though at the same time it might not, since he might feel he doesn't need my help. Orochimaru let out an enormous smile. Cuckoo, I should have marked Minato's boy instead. So much potential. I might just take him now. If it wasn't for the blasted fourth Hokage. Don't worry, Naruto. I won't forget about your precious eyes. Naruto was talking to Sai. You ready for your match? I'm feeling much better. I'm sure I can manage as long as I don't face that sand freak, replied Sai. Naruto looked over at Sai. Yeah, he's pretty shady. He's one to dash. Naruto suddenly felt his vision spin. Gripping the rail in order to keep himself in check. Turned out to be futile. He dropped to the ground. Before he fell into bliss unconscious state, he heard Sai shout his name. Damn. That jutsu uses more chakra than Tsukuyomi, and I haven't completely recovered from the fight with Root. Hospital room, Naruto slowly opened his eyes. As he stared at the ceiling, his other senses slowly returned to him. He felt something weighing down on his stomach. Looking down, he was a bit surprised to see Haruka sleeping by his side. He looked outside the window and noticed it was early morning. Looking around the room, he noticed a few flowers placed around. Mom probably brought those. Huh? Are you awake, big brother? Asked Haruka as she rubbed her eyes. Naruto nodded his head. You mind getting off? You've surely grown, Haruka. Aren't you like 7 now? Haruka got off Naruto and gave him a toothy grin. And in 2 weeks I'll be 8. How long have I been knocked out? Asked Naruto. Haruka thought for a minute. I don't know, 3 days? 3 days? Do you know who I will be facing at least? Asked Naruto. Nige Hyuga, innocently replied Haruka. Naruto looked at her and laughed. You mean Neji Hyuga? Haruka nodded her head. Exactly. And I'm going to help you train, so you can teach me some more cool techniques. Naruto gave her a questioning look. I don't know. Maybe I'll think about it. Though first we need to get out of here before Granny Tsunade gets here. Haruka quieted down. She locked all the windows and doors. She knows how you like getting out of here. Naruto smiled. There's always more than one way out of here. Haruka's eyes widened. What is it? A new cool technique. Naruto closed his eyes and reopened them, revealing an 8-rounded star. Grabbing Haruka, allow me to tell you about the Mangekyo Sharingan. He and Haruka were then suddenly engulfed into Naruto's flashback, and Jutsu line Naruto, Sai, and Yakumo silently stood under the tree enjoying the silence together. They were currently at their usual training grounds. Naruto looked over at his teammates, having been filled in what happened in the rest of the preliminaries. Apparently, Sai ended up defeating some Inuzuka genin. Match 1 me versus Neji. Match 2 Sasuke versus Gaara. Match 3 Kankuro versus Yakumo. Match 4 Shikamaru versus Temari. Match 5 Dosa versus Shino. And Match 6 Sai versus Mito. Naruto looked up at both of his teammates. There's a chance that we'll have to fight each other, so I just want to tell you guys, good luck. I was thinking about that too. I guess I'll just do the same, replied Yakumo. Sai shrugged his shoulders. Yeah, but it would have to be pretty far into the tournament, and I bet by then we can prove we're worthy of being chunin. Yamato jumped out of the trees. I'm glad you all think the same. It's good not allow these exams to pull you apart. As well, I never got the chance to congratulate you guys. We were only other team besides Sand to have our whole group pass to the finals. Thank you, Sensei, replied the 3 genin. Yamato smiled. If you all 3 become chunin, I'll probably be the first one ever to have a whole squad pass. Though if it does happen, I'll be letting you know we might not see each other as often. So I wanted to invite all of you to a friendly meal a few days before the exam. I don't think I would ever forgot you guys. Regardless, responded Sai. Naruto and Yakumo agreed with him. Yeah, Yamato-sensei, I would miss you boys a lot. We're pretty much family. You guys are acting like we will never see each other again. We don't have to be ninja to be friends, voiced out Naruto. Yamato nodded. So how do you guys want to set up your training for the month? Naruto stood up. I'm going to do my own training that I need to work on my stamina and grasp better control over my Sharingan. Yakumo and Sai understood, but Yamato didn't. What do you mean? You have pretty good control over it already, and your stamina is better than most chunins. It's just that I've been using higher techniques, and they're taking a big drain on me, replied Naruto. Yamato noticed a hint of hesitation. Like what? Naruto thought for a moment before responding. Like that genjutsu I used on Isura. It's an A-rank genjutsu that uses almost a quarter of my chakra. Are you serious? Asked Yakumo. Naruto nodded. Yeah, it's supposed to cause a lot of mental damage, though the one that I used on Isura wasn't at its fullest potential. Impressive, Naruto. I guess you won't need any help from me. So how about you two? Asked Yamato. Yakumo looked at his sensei. Well, not trying to putting you down, sensei, but Kurenai agreed to help me. Yamato, I guess that's Fin Dash. Why would you agree to that? Didn't she say you wouldn't become a good ninja? Asked Naruto. Yakumo shrugged her shoulders. Well, her only student who passed was Shino, and he doesn't really require her help, and I don't know. I guess I forgave her because I was able to prove her wrong, and she acknowledged it. I guess that's enough for me to allow myself to give her another chance. Naruto blinked, and he just remained silent. Sai then looked over to his sensei. Yamato-sensei, I would like you to help me. Good. I know my students were all going to blow me off. After they leave, we will set up a schedule. Got it, replied Yamato. Yamato looked at his other two students. If you change your mind and would like my help, don't hesitate to look me out, especially you Naruto, since you have no teacher. Naruto and Yakumo nodded, and Naruto left in a shunshin. Park Haruka was quietly walking down the park, deep in her own thoughts. Passing an empty bench, she sat down. The Mangekyo Sharingan. What cold eyes! How did Big Brother get them? Flashback. No Jutsu. Haruka stumbled forward and ended up looking down at the edge of a platform. Looking down, she saw a bunch more familiar platforms. What is this? Looking up at Naruto, she gasped when she looked at Naruto's eyes. Your Sharingan. It's changed. What's going on? I wasn't sure when to tell you about this. Promise me right now that you won't dig deeper about what I'm going to tell you. I'll tell you more once you get older, responded Naruto. Haruka was confused. What is that? This Haruka is the Mangekyo Sharingan, the forbidden stage of the Sharingan. The only people who have it in this world is me, Itachi, and another man, explained Naruto. Why is it forbidden? Itachi? What does he have to do with it? Asked Haruka. Naruto looked down at Haruka. It's forbidden because you have to do certain things in order to unlock it. Itachi doesn't have anything to do with it. I'm just telling you who else has it. Haruka looked up at Naruto. What things? Naruto looked away. I won't tell you no. But once you're older, I promise I will. Haruka pouted. I'm not a little kid. And what is this then? This is one of my abilities, Kamui. Kamui allows me to transport anything into this dimension. I can even teleport myself, or other people in here. Then just teleport myself anywhere, replied Naruto. That's amazing. How come you don't use it a lot? Asked Haruka. Naruto looked over at Haruka. Another reason it's forbidden is because the more you use it, your vision will become much more blurry, until you're completely blind. Haruka gasped as he looked into Naruto's eyes. Naruto grabbed Haruka's hand. Let's go. Haruka? Haruka looked up to Naruto as she grabbed his hand. Yes, big brother? Promise me you'll never try to gain these type of eyes. Haruka's 7-year-old mind couldn't comprehend the situation, but she understood what he meant. I promise. Flashback, an old Jutsu Yendi Naruto then appeared right behind her and quietly snuck up on her. I wonder what she's thinking about. Naruto slyly crept up behind her ear and whispered, Boo. Haruka jumped from the bench and stumbled backwards. She gave Naruto a dirty look. You're not funny. Naruto just let out a long laugh. But that was too easy. Haruka stood up and crossed her hands. I was just caught off guard. Even the best have their off days. Naruto shrugged his shoulder. So, you're having an off day? Too bad. I guess I might just go ask Kimimaro to help me. Might even teach him a new Jutsu dash. Haruka clamped her arms around Naruto. I was kidding. You totally got me. Now teach me a new jutsu. Naruto shook Haruka off him. Sure, but only if you help me train. Haruka nodded. What are we going to do? Am I going to throw a bunch of kunai at you? Or am I going to help you create a totally new awesome teaching? Naruto started walking toward the exit of the park. Haruka jumped up and down in joy, followed behind Naruto. Village. Hey, why aren't we going to the training grounds? Asked Haruka as they turned the corner, and appeared right outside of the hot springs. Naruto walked over to the side stream. I need to work on my chakra control, so I'm going to walk on water, while performing a number of jutsus. Walk on water? Is that even possible? Is it harder than walking on trees? Asked Haruka. Naruto shrugged his shoulders a bit, but once you get it down, it will be easy enough. Want to try it? Yes. Haruka, without hesitation, ran onto the water. It wasn't until she put her foot in the water she realized her mistake. Before she could sink all the way, Naruto caught her by the collar. What did I say about rushing into things? It will get me killed one day, nervously replied Haruka. Naruto sighed and tossed her to the side. Not necessarily, but you should always think before doing something. Anyway, let me explain the technique to you. It's much like tree climbing, but you need to keep a continuous flow of chakra. Since the water is always moving, then you need to be constantly readjusting the flow of chakra. Now give it a go. Haruka nodded, and she formed a seal, concentrating the chakra in her feet. She gave a smug smile. I got this. Though as she was about to put her foot forward, she sank into the water. She resurfaced screaming, "This is hot! 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 Hot!" Quickly jumping out, Naruto scratched his chin. Did I forget to mention the water was a tad warm? Well, you can use it as motivation. Naruto then jumped onto the water. I'll be practicing a few water jutsus, so be careful. Need anything, come and get me. Haruka was pulling wet strands of hair out of her hair. But you'll be on the water? How would I get to you? Exactly, see ya? Naruto then raced across the water to the far side. A few hours later, Naruto was catching his breath as he thought to himself, damn, the transition from jutsu to jutsu is still 5 seconds. I can't seem to reduce the time frame. Boo! Naruto was taken by surprise and lost his balance. He fell face first into the water and went under. Breaking the surface of the water, a smiling Haruka stood over him. You see, I did it. Haruka suddenly jumped up, and when she came down, she felt her control slip. What? Naruto jumped out and grabbed her. Taking her off to the side, Naruto let her go. You still got ways to go, Haruka. Though I have to say that's quite impressive. I know. I'm like the best in Dash. Haruka then heard giggling. Turning to the side, she saw some old white-haired dude peeking on the girl's side of the bathhouse. Naruto turned to where Haruka was looking and felt a sense of familiarity. Though before he could say anything, Haruka marched over to the guy. Hey, you pervert. Stop peeking. The white-haired man turned around. Just be quiet, kid. I'm conducting research, hee. I'll give you research. Haruka flashed through some hand seals. Take this, you pervert. Fire release. Fireball jutsu. Naruto's eyes widened. Haruka, what are you doing? Naruto's eyes suddenly morphed into the 8-rounded star. But suddenly the fireball was cancelled. Having had the danger cancelled out, Naruto deactivated his Mangekyo. Suddenly the white-haired man stood on top of a toad. Do you not know, it's not nice to throw jutsus like that at your elders? Allow me to teach you a lesson. The white-haired man smirked. I'll just wrap her with the toad's tongue, and I'll have her screaming about how gross it is. That will teach her. The toad's tongue exploded from its mouth. Haruka gasped and tried to dodge, but she knew it was too fast. Then suddenly the tongue stopped inches from her face. She was lifted off the ground, and the toad dispersed. Jiraiya landed on the ground, impressive. Who are you? How do you have the Sharingan? Naruto had his back turned to Jiraiya with Haruka in his arms. Looking down at Haruka, you and me are going to have a talk about recklessly using such a destructive jutsu. If you had missed, you would have set the bathhouse on fire. Haruka crossed her arms. But that pervert. I hate perverts. Hey, I'm not a pervert. I'm a super pervert, yelled out the man. Naruto smirked and turned around. You haven't changed a bit, old man. I wonder what Tsunade would say if she saw you out here. What do you think, Jiraiya? Jiraiya looked at Naruto in shock. Naruto? Is that seriously you? You look so much older. It's been like almost 8 years. You know this guy, asked Haruka. Naruto smirked. Well, yeah. Aren't you like my godfather? Where have you been all these years? Jiraiya smiled. Well, Naruto, you have surely changed. Not just in appearance, but personality, too. I still remember the little kid who won't stop bothering me to teach him a jutsu. That brings back memories. As for not being around, you could say I've been doing a bit of research. Haruka glared at Jiraiya. You pervert. I don't care who you are, I'll destroy you. Naruto sighed. Well, it was nice to see you, Jiraiya, but I have things to do, places to be. I'll see you around. Now, let's go have that little chat, Haruka, said Naruto as they both disappeared in a cloud of leaves. Jiraiya sighed, and he started walking down the street. Reaching a bar, he sat in the far corner and had a small drink. A few moments later, a busted blonde walked in and sat by Jiraiya. So? Jiraiya looked down at his drink. I can see why you're worried, Tsunade. Naruto has changed a lot. I still find it hard to believe he possesses the Sharingan. I know, and I'm worried about him. He's been to the hospital a lot in the few past months, and they've all been for chakra exhaustion. Do you think the Sharingan is taking too much of a drain? Asked Tsunade. Jiraiya shrugged his shoulders. I wish I could help you, but I promised I would help Mito train for the exams. Though I did manage to catch something. Tsunade put her drink down. What? I'm not sure if my mind were playing tricks, but his Sharingan looked like it morphed into an 8-rounded star. Maybe you should ask him about it, suggested Jiraiya. Tsunade sighed. Not right now. Maybe after the exams. Next day, Naruto felt the warm sun shine on his face. Getting up from his bed, he noticed the sun was just rising. Slowly getting up, he got himself ready for the day. He then wrapped a seal, containing the executioner blade, around his wrist. Grabbing his ninja pouch, he strapped it onto his waist. He then grabbed Chirsue's sword and strapped it on his back. Walking into the kitchen, he noticed that everyone else was still asleep. Walking to the door, he was about to open it when he heard a voice behind him. Going to train? Naruto turned around and faced his dad. That was the idea. Minato, already in his usual clothes, walked across the kitchen and grabbed a cup of coffee. Anyone training you? Naruto shook his head. Nope. Minato put his coffee down. Well, if you need any help, maybe I could help you out. Naruto looked at Minato. I don't dash. Hear me out, Naruto, said Minato. I know we aren't on best terms, but I think it would be a good idea to have someone help you train. I saw your match during the preliminary, and I think I could help you out. Naruto was taken back a bit. You did? Well, yeah, and I thought it was pretty brilliant. You showed excellent skills, both in tactics and through your fighting skills. Though I could tell you were missing a finishing blow, explained Minato. Naruto rose an eyebrow. What do you mean? Minato responds, well, you're really quick, but you lack the finishing blow. Your sword goes perfectly with your style, but you need something a bit more powerful. So, what would fill the bill? Asked Naruto. Minato placed his arm forward, and a swirl of chakra begun to form. The Rasengan. You want to teach me the Rasengan? Asked Naruto. But I thought it would take too long for the exams. Minato shrugged his shoulders. Well, I hear you're pretty fast at learning jutsus, and your Sharingan would probably help a lot. So, what do you say? Want to learn the Rasengan? Asked a hopeful Minato. Naruto looks up at his dad. Why should I let him train me? But Yakumo gave Kurenai a chance, and he's actually acknowledging my strength. I guess I could give it a shot, muttered Naruto. Minato gave him a big smile. But first I want to personally test you out. So how about a friendly spar? Naruto didn't get a chance to reply when Minato grabbed him and they disappeared in a flash. Training Ground Zero Naruto suddenly appeared in the middle of the training ground. Rolling to his side, he jumped up. What the hells? Minato let out a chuckle. Not used to my jutsu? No, but you just don't do that. It's creepy, replied Naruto. I'll explain the rules of our spar, said Minato. Naruto sighed. You didn't even let me answer. So do you? Asked Minato. Don't you have Hokage duties? Asked Naruto. I can make some time. Naruto grabbed some kunai. Then let's make this quick. Naruto then chucked the kunai at Minato. Minato grabbed his 3-pronged kunai and blocked every single one. Naruto then flashed through some hand seals. Water release. Water trumpet jutsu, Naruto unleashed an enormous jet of water from his mouth. Minato jumped straight into the air, avoiding the jet of water. Grabbing some more of his kunai, he scattered 8 of them all across the training ground. Naruto once again signed some hand seals. Water release. Water bullet jutsu Naruto let out about 3 bullets of compressed water. Minato was suddenly hit in the stomach, though as he was high, looked into a log. Naruto's eyes widened. When did he? Naruto turned around and blocked an incoming kick. Minato looked at him. Impressive. Minato easily pressed the attack on Naruto, as Naruto was slowly losing the battle. Then for a brief second Naruto closed his eyes. Activating the Sharingan, he looked Minato in the eye, right before Minato finally got past his defense. As Minato punched him in the face, Naruto burst into a swarm of crows. Minato's eyes widened. He cast that genjutsu so fast, not even a single hand seal. Minato then watched as the crows that had appeared begun to fly toward him. Minato realized what was going on, and he broke the genjutsu. Having had the genjutsu broken, Minato realized that the bird were actually shuriken, teleporting to a different kunai. He suddenly realized that Naruto had thrown shuriken at every single one of his kunai. Putting up his hands, the 3 shuriken were embedded into his arm. Grunting, he jumped back and pulled the shuriken out. Then suddenly Naruto appeared and engaged him in taijutsu. As Minato fought him, he noticed that his Sharingan were no longer active. A clone? Minato pulled out a kunai and swiped across his body. As he struck the clone, it burst into water. The water soaked Minato, and suddenly he watched as the real Naruto jumped into the sky. Lightning release. Electric storm. Lightning begun to form in his hand, and Minato was about to teleport. Though as he concentrated on the kunai spread around, they're all surrounded by a puddle of water. Minato then thought back to the shuriken thrown earlier. A water-released shadow shuriken jutsu? Minato looked up as the chakra in Naruto's hand increased. Then Minato disappeared. Naruto suddenly felt a cold blade in the back of his neck. It's over. Naruto looked back. So back then, you'd already had me marked. Minato smiled. You got to expect the unexpected, son. Naruto smirked as the jutsu in his hand faded. Exactly? Naruto suddenly exploded into a burst of lightning, and in the middle was one of Minato's kunai. Minato fell straight to the ground, and Minato's body jerked. I can't even... Then suddenly one of the kunai spread around, poofed into a Naruto. Naruto walked over to his father. Didn't see that one coming. Minato's body jerked again. How did you do that? Naruto crouched down. I already knew you had marked me the instant we got here. So, when I caught you under the genjutsu, I grabbed one of the kunai and used it as the epicenter of my lightning release shadow clone. I then transformed myself into one of your kunai, and you never noticed the difference, since you could still teleport to it. You can probably figure out the rest. Minato jerked. Naruto, that was ingenious, but not enough to beat me. Naruto suddenly felt a kunai at the back of his neck. Naruto's eyes widened as he turned around. How did you? When I teleported to attack you from behind, I didn't actually teleport. I shunshined to the side and used a shadow clone to attack you instead. Though I never expected this, admitted Minato. Naruto fell to his knees. He did it so fast. Damn, have I not improved at all? He wasn't even going full out. Minato looked down at his son. Don't beat yourself over at Naruto. I have to admit Mito is nowhere near your level. As well, I'm a Hokage. I'm supposed to be the strongest ninja in the village. Minato then let a smile out. Though I admit, had I not switched with the shadow clone, I would have suffered an embarrassing lose to a genin. Naruto slowly got back up. I guess so. Minato then looked at the clone. By the way, why hasn't he dispelled? Naruto flung a kunai at it. The lightning jutsu disables the body functions, so you're not really physically injuring it. It wouldn't be enough to dispel a shadow clone. Minato nodded. That's impressive. I have to say, Naruto, if you keep this up, there's no way you don't become a chunin. Naruto faced Minato. Okay, so can we start my training? Minato pulled a water blood from behind. The first step to learning the Rasengan is... 8 hours later, Naruto was laying down in the same training ground breathing hard. This is insane. Naruto stood up and stretched. I guess this is enough for today. Naruto formed a hand seal, but he quickly fell to the ground. Damn, don't have enough chakra to use the body flicker. Naruto just sighed and jumped to the trees. Village. Naruto walked down the village, trying to decide where to eat, when he suddenly felt someone tap his shoulder. Turning around, he was engulfed in a hug by a teal-haired girl. Naruto gave a small smile. Fu, how's it been? I thought you had left the village. Fu let go of Naruto. I'm leaving in a few days, but I'm not sure if I want to return. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Why not? Fu twirled her hair. I told Daichi-sensei what happened, and he blamed it all on me. Fu begun to cry a little. It wasn't like I wanted them dead, but he blames it all on me. They knew what they were getting into, and the only reason I'm still here is because you saved me from those Mishinobi. Naruto looked around and was thankful no one noticed Fu crying. Fu, don't cry. Let's get something to eat. Let's just talk about it. Fu wiped a tear. Thanks, Naruto, you've always been so kind to me, and all I do is cry and cry. Naruto grabbed her hand and led her into a small dango shop. Why don't we get something sweet to eat? I mean, it always makes me feel better. Fu silently sat down as Naruto ordered some dango. Once their food arrived, Fu asked, Why are you so kind to me? Naruto grabbed a piece of dango and took a bite. I guess you remind me a bit of me. What do you mean? You're the son of the fourth Hokage? As Fu, Naruto took another bite. Even so, I grew up a bit isolated from my age group. No one really liked to play with me as a kid. I guess you could say I was a bit different. I was always more interested in studying the arts of ninja than playing tag or something, though it was more than that. Fu was still confused. What are you trying to say? Naruto finished his first dango stick. I was always overlooked for my famous sister, being the Jinchuriki of the nine-tailed fox and the daughter of the fourth Hokage. She was viewed as a hero in the village. I was always ignored or pushed aside when my parents weren't around. They just wanted to please my younger sister. Who's they? Asked Fu everyone, except a selected few. Though I could count them all on one hand, replied Naruto. I know it's nowhere near the type of neglect you get, but I want you to understand I understand your frustration. Fu looked into Naruto's eyes. He's not lying. Yet I found it in my heart to forgive them, not because they deserve it, but because I don't want to waste my time on things as pointless like revenge and hatred. I don't think you should either, said Naruto as he grabbed another dango. Fu looked into Naruto's eyes, saying nothing, when Naruto made another comment as he looked away. And I think you're kinda cute. Fu flushed red as she grabbed a dango herself and choked it down, composing herself. Thank you, Naruto. Naruto didn't say anything, still beat red himself. Fu noticing how much Naruto was blushing. So, is this like a date? Naruto choked on the dango he was eating. No. Naruto SFU, having gotten a bit more confidence, grabbed the dango in Naruto's hand and ate the last piece. Maybe next time? See you around, Naruto. As Fu walked out, Naruto was left speechless. Wait, did she just ask me for a date? As Fu left the shop, she was furiously blushing. Fu, what are you doing? What if I came on to Strong? He might think I'm just some filthy skank. As Naruto composed himself and finally got his body working, he burst out of the dango shop. Fu, wait up. In the dango, Enko watched with much joy. Young love. So much fun. A few weeks later, Naruto stood once again in his father's personal training ground, now attempting the final stage of the Rasengan. The finals was in 5 days, so he had 3 days to master the jutsu. The past couple of weeks had been pretty tiring for Naruto. Training for the finals and helping out Haruka had tired him dry bone. As Naruto tried the technique, once more he let out a grin. I'm getting it. Day before exams, Kushina was quietly walking down the village, with a million of thoughts running through her head. I'm pregnant. Oh my, why now? I didn't think I would have another child. Can I raise another child? Look what happened to Naruto. As Kushina kept walking down the road, she suddenly heard a loud commotion at the nearby betting pool. This first match looks like it'll be a good one. Son of the fourth Hokage versus the Prodigy of the Hyuga clan. The son of the fourth? Are you serious? I heard that kid is a total loser when it comes to ninja arts. I mean, wasn't his place as clan heir taken from him? Kushina clenched her fists, and her face slowly turned into anger. Are you serious? I don't care if he's no longer the heir. He has a fully matured Sharingan. Not even. The prodigy of the Uchiha clan, Sasuke Uchiha, has it. I also heard on his first C rank, he managed to defeat a Jounin-level shinobi. Well, I don't care. I'm still betting my money on the Neji kid. Kushina didn't say anything as she continued to walk down the street. She was a bit calmed down by the people who defended Naruto, but she was still so angry. Not at the villagers, but at herself. Is this what Haruka meant? How am I supposed to raise another child if I couldn't even raise one? Naruto was sitting down at the edge of a cliff. The very same cliff Sasuke had died. Naruto didn't know why he kept coming back, but he always felt like Sasuke was still there with him. Naruto heard the rustling of the wind, and someone sat by him. What are you doing out here? I don't know, thinking, replied Naruto as he didn't even turn to face Minato. Minato asks, did you do it? Yeah, replied Naruto. Minato looked down at the bottom of the cliff. Good. Now I have to tell you something. What? Asked Naruto. Minato looked over to Naruto. I'm sorry. I don't care about being hey dash, I know, but I'm sorry for that too. Minato closed his eyes. I'm sorry for everything. Naruto sat there in silence as Minato continued. When I first found out about you and Mito, I was nervous. I didn't know if I would have took to be a father, and I proved I wasn't. I allowed my ridiculous beliefs to shape my decisions, to favor one child over the other. Probably the biggest regret of my life. Naruto did reply as he looked down the cliff. I keep saying I'll make it up, but to be honest, I don't know how. What I did is unforgivable. I've thought of giving you back the spot as heir, but I know you don't care about things like titles. I'm just trying to say I'm sorry for everything. I know you will never admit that you hate me, but I won't blame you, though you won't because that's the type of person you are. The type of person I'm honored to be the father of. I, the fourth Hokage, the Yellow Flash, failed at giving you the respect and love you deserve. I hope you can forgive me. Naruto took a heavy sigh. I forgive you, Dad, because the fact you're here means you actually regret it, and the past is just the past. Had you not done what you did, I probably would have become a very different person. Even though there are things I would like to change, unfortunately they were meant to be. Minato smiled. I'm glad because I really wanted to complete the second phase of the Rasengan with you. What do you mean? Asked Naruto. Not many know, but the Rasengan is incomplete jutsu, and after the exams maybe you can be the one to complete it, replied Minato. Naruto nodded his head. Yeah, I would like that. The son and father sat on the cliff a little longer, as the sun slowly begun to set. The flashback, and jutsu line the arena cheered as 11 of 12 participants stood ready to fight. All the genin were lined up in single order. Naruto looked down the line, and was surprised to no longer see the sound genin in the exams. Orochimaru, what's your game? At the same time Naruto thought of that question, he noticed the red-headed sand genin give a blood-thirsty look to his right. Sasuke, are you ready? This guard kid is no pushover. I'm not so sure if I would want to fight him myself. Are you trying to get me to quit? Asked Sasuke. Naruto shrugged his shoulders. Of course not. Just want you to be prepared. HN, well, your match is first. I'll see you in the next round, replied Sasuke. Naruto smiled. Cocky as always, Sasuke. Well, good luck. Sasuke just smirked again as the proctor came forward. I'm Gunma, and I'll be your new proctor for the third exams. Naruto eyebrow rose. What happened to the other guy? Gunma pulled out a senbon and placed it between his teeth. Pulling out a piece of paper, these will be the following matches. Match 1. Naruto Uzumaki vs. Neji Hyuga Match 2. Sasuke Uchiha vs. Gaara. Match 3. Shikamaru Nara vs. Temari Match 4. Yakumo Kurama vs. Kankuro Match 5. Mito Namikaze vs. Sai Match 6. Shino Aberame by Round Match 1. R1W1 vs. R1W2 Match 2. R1W3 vs. R1W4 Match 3. R1W5 vs. Shino Aberame Match 4. R2W1 vs. R2W2 Final. R2W3 vs. R2W4 Naruto Idolist. Did Orochimaru back out? Damn. I should have asked Dad about him. Alright, people. Naruto, Uzumaki, and Neji Hyuga step forward. Everyone else head up the stairs to the waiting area, announced Gunma. Everyone else walked out, leaving behind Naruto and Neji. Naruto and Neji silently glared each other down as the wind begun to pick up. Neji got into the Hyuga stance, any last words. Naruto put his hand on his sword. Get ready, 'cause I'm gonna beat you. Defeat me? You're destined to lose to me, Naruto, because that is your fate as a pitiful loser, replied Neji. Naruto activated his Sharingan. Then let's get the show on the road, Neji. Neji activated his Byakugan. Allow us to see whose dojutsu is the best. Gunma smirked. Begin? Line Minato silently walked up to the Kage booth. Kushina's pregnant. What horrible timing. To think that Orochimaru might unleash an attack at any moment. That damn snake. As Minato reached his booth, he was greeted by a Jounin and walked over to his chair. The chair next to him was occupied by the Kazekage, who strangely enough had half his face covered. Lord Hokage, it's been a while. Minato gave him a refreshing smile. Yeah, I'm glad you were able to make the long trip, Lord Kazekage. Yes, I'm very interested in seeing this year's crop of genin. Since 3 of my own children have made it to the finals, announced the Kazekage. Minato nodded. Yes, my own children made it as well. It seems we're in for a very exciting finals this year. The preliminary themselves were quite exciting. Yes, my children told me about them. Especially your son, Naruto. I heard he had inherited the Sharingan and was very talented in its use. Heard he was quite the talented genin overall. The genin to beat this year, if I'm not mistaken, asked the Kazekage. Minato replied, yes, my son Naruto is a very talented boy. I guess it would be safe to say he is, but I've got to say your own son Gaara has a very interesting Kekiai Genkai himself. Manalpating Sand is very similar to the magnet release you have in Suna. Yes, it seems he inherited a mutated version of it. I won't mind seeing our kids going at it. It would be an excellent opportunity to see Suna's magnet release, or Sand release versus Konoha's Sharingan, said the Kazekage, but it seems my boy is against that Sasuke Uchiha, also a very talented genin among your ranks. Minato eyed the Kazekage. Yes, it would be a great opportunity. Well, now I must greet everyone to the exams. As Minato stood up to greet the crowd, Orochimaru, I wouldn't have seen through your disguise if you hadn't been so antsy about the Sharingan. Damn, it looks like he has taken interest in Naruto. Whatever happens today, it will be your last. Line as Minato was greeting the crowd. Kushina, Tsunade, and Shizen were all about to sit down. Kushina smiled. Oh boy, my children's first chunin exam finals. Shizen looked over to Kushina. Don't go over the top with your celebrations, Lady Kushina. Remember? Kushina sighed. I know, Shizen. Don't worry about me. Enjoy the show. I'm pretty sure Naruto's match is first. Tsunade, meanwhile, had been making some bets. Tsunade sat back down. Naruto is going to make me so rich. He's so many suckers betting against him, it's ridiculous. I'm have him going the whole way. Kushina's sweat dropped. Don't you think it's a bit rude to be voting on Naruto? Tsunade waved her off. You only say that because it would be unfair to Mito, but there isn't a genin alive who can beat Naruto. The boy is a 1 in a million genius. Shizen face palmed. Oh. Lady Tsunade. Kushina looked down at her son. She's right. But if I acknowledge Naruto as the best, would I be doing the same thing I was doing to Naruto to Mito? No, I need to acknowledge them both as strong, capable shinobi, both able to hold their own against anyone else. As Naruto's match was called up, both Tsunade and Kushina screamed, "Let's go, Naruto!" Line begin. Naruto exploded from his spot. Drawing his sword, he engaged Neji. Neji pulled out a kunai and begun to defend against Naruto's strikes. Naruto's superior skill in kenjutsu was enough to push Neji back. Naruto begun to add some wind chakra to his sword, and when they exchanged blows, Neji's kunai broke in half. Neji's eyes widened and he jumped back. He forced me into a match of blades, so I won't use the gentle fist. Neji entered the gentle fist stance. Allowing you dictate the flow of the battle is something I can't let you do. Neji then waited for Naruto to press the attack, and Naruto did just that. Neji timed it perfectly, and he hit Naruto's arm. Naruto, realizing the danger, dropped his sword and jumped backwards. Neji smirked and kicked Naruto's sword. The sword went flying towards Naruto in midair. The sword then pierced Naruto right into the stomach. Then Naruto exploded into a poof of smoke. Neji's eyes widened in shock. When did he make a clone? Pulling a kunai out, he threw it across the arena and hit the only tree in the arena. Suddenly the image of the tree became blurry, and Naruto appeared inches under the kunai. Impressive. It seems you can see through genjutsu. Neji gritted his teeth. When did he cast the genjutsu? I didn't even notice it. Naruto stood up. It's useless to be able to see through genjutsu if you don't know it's being cast in the first place. Now let's heat this up. Fire release. Fireball jutsu. An enormous fireball was launched from Naruto's mouth. Neji jumped straight into the air, avoiding the jutsu. Though as soon as he launched himself into the air, Naruto unleashed a barrage of kunai and shuriken. Neji pulled out his own kunai and shuriken and managed to deflect every single one of Naruto's projectiles. Naruto then shunshined behind Neji. Though as he was about to punch him across the face, Neji amazingly managed to block the incoming fist. Exchanging a few blows in the air, Naruto jumped back. Naruto started to sign a few more hand signs. He managed to block my attack. Does the Byakugan have any blind spots? I guess I'm going to have to find out. Wind release. Vacuum sphere. Naruto unleashed multiple small vacuums of air. Neji jumped to the side and attempted to block one with his kunai. But to his surprise, the small vacuum of air tore through his kunai. One of the small vacuums cut a string which unleashed an enormous barrage of kunai. Neji managed to move his body in a way where he dodged all the kunai. Though Naruto watched with surprise as a kunai managed to make a small cut between Neji's left shoulder and neck, Naruto weaved a few hand signs. Was that a blind spot? Naruto took in a lot of air. Fire release. Firestorm. Naruto then unleashed a wide spread of fire. Neji's eyed the jutsu. It's covering the whole arena side or side. I can't dodge to the side, but jumping up might very well be part of his plan. The firestorm then engulfed Neji. Naruto kept fueling the fire jutsu until his eyes caught something. Halting the jutsu, he watched as the firestorm begun to cease. Then suddenly a blue dome of chakra appeared. As the flames extinguished, so did the dome of chakra. Naruto then watched in shock. What is that? This is my ultimate defense. There's no going past it, replied Neji. You can't defeat me. Naruto allowed himself to catch his breath. That's an amazing jutsu. Neji begun to eye Naruto's chakra system. He should be leaning low on chakra by now. Neji's eyes widened in shock. He still has so much chakra left. I can't keep playing the defensive. Though before Neji could unleash an attack, Naruto had set his plan into motion. Water release. Water dragon jutsu out of thin air. Naruto managed to create a medium-sized water dragon jutsu, leaving many days in the audience. The water dragon went flying towards Neji. Neji dodged to the right, but to his surprise, when the dragon passed Neji, Naruto flashed through some more hand signs. Water release. Water tearing torrents. Nei's eyes widened in shock. What jutsu speed? 8 trigram rotation. Neji then begun to spin in order to block the jutsu. Blocking the jutsu, he jumped to the side. Suddenly Naruto was upon him. Naruto tried to get a knockout blow against his face, but Neji dodged and struck him with an open palm. Naruto was pushed enter the stance and called out, 8 trigram 64 palm, 2 palm for palm, 8 palm, 16 palm, 32 palm, and Naruto waited until the 32 palm. Now I just have to dodge the last one, move. As Neji was about to hit the last set of strikes, Naruto barely managed to dodge it. Stepping to the side, he waited until Neji got into position. Lining him with the tree, Naruto smiled and reached for the ground. He then grabbed a hidden chain and jumped backwards. Neji rose an eyebrow as he saw Naruto tug at the chain, unaware that directly behind his left shoulder, the tree also contained a chain, which rose from the ground. Naruto pulled the chain and entangled Neji, disabling him from rotating. Naruto weaved a few hand seals, lightning release. Electric current, the chain sparked alive with electricity and shocked Neji to the core. Dropping the jutsu, Neji collapsed onto his back. Naruto fell to one knee. Damn, he managed to block half my chakra in such a session. Had I been an inch off, he would have taken me out. I was lucky to have found a blind spot. Naruto walked over to Neji. I win. Neji just looked up into the sky. How did you do it? Naruto looked down at Neji. The first time I had appeared at the tree, I left a summoning jutsu. When I got you into position, I summoned the chain underground. I wasn't expecting you to use the 64 palm move, but I managed to improvise anyways. I have to say, Neji, you're as talented as they say. You talk about destiny this, destiny that, but do you truly believe that? You kept saying I would lose today, but regardless I managed to defeat you. I know about your clan's family feud, and Neji, I understand your pain. Believe it or not, you and me are very familiar. Naruto then looked Neji into the eye, Sharingan spinning, and Neji zoned out for a minute. Then suddenly he looked up to the sky. Naruto Uzumaki, an overlooked prodigy? I guess that is a fitting name for people like us. Naruto closed his eyes, deactivating his Sharingan. Genma walked over and looked down at Neji. What a kid. He was in control of the match the whole time. Genma examined Neji. Didn't even seriously injure him either. Damn, this kid will be one to watch. Winner Naruto Uzumaki, announced Genma. Naruto was suddenly brought back to the real world as the stadium erupted into cheers. Turning around, he just gave the crowd a crazed smile, and he disappeared in a cloud of leaves. Line Tsunade erupted from her chair. Ha ha! Money! 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 I mean, good job, Naruto. Kushina jumped in joy. Naruto, that's my boy. Kakashi and Yamato then appear behind them. Kushina looks like Naruto managed to deliver. Not a surprise there. How about a wager, Yamato? My student versus yours. Yamato gave a little chuckle. A bit cocky? Do you really think Sasuke will defeat Gaara first? Kakashi looked onto the arena. We'll have to find out. Line Naruto walked up the stairs. He then crossed Sasuke. Good luck. Sasuke smirked. I don't need luck. This will be over quickly. Whatever, and Naruto continued to walk. Turning the corner, he walked upon the rest of the genin participating in the finals. He looked around the small space until he spotted Yakumo and Sai. That was amazing, Naruto, exclaimed Yakumo. Sai nodded. I think you showed the necessary skills to be a chunin. You're probably going to get the promotion. Unless you mess up your next match. Naruto was going to reply when he got a hug from behind. Turning around, he ended up facing Mito. Great job, Naruto. I'll see you in the final. If you get to the final, replied Naruto. Mito crossed her arms. Well, you aren't set yet either. You're the one who brought it up, exclaimed Naruto. Naruto then grabbed his left shoulder. Well, I'll be right back. I'm going to get my chakra points unblocked. How are you going to do that? Asked Yakumo. Naruto walked toward the hallway. Grandma Tsunade, a few looked at Naruto for giving the legendary Sannin such a ridiculous nickname. Naruto ignored the crazed looks and walked down the hallway. Naruto walked into the spectators section and walked over to Tsunade. He reached her specific section and was surprised to also see Kakashi, Yamato, Guy, Lee, Sakura, and Ino a row above. Naruto walked down to everyone. How's it going, guys? Yamato smiled at Naruto. Great. Nice match, Naruto. If you keep like this, you might win me a few bucks, he. Tsunade turned around. Great job, brat. I just won like 20 different bets. You keep winning like this, and I'll no longer be the legendary sucker. Naruto's sweat dropped. Betting on me? I can see Tsunade. But you Yamato-sensei? Yamato rubbed the back of his head. Ha! I know, but Kakashi reeled me in. Naruto looked over to Kakashi. Doubting my skill, Cyclops? Naruto, you shouldn't disrespect Kakashi-sensei like that, exclaimed Sakura. Naruto shrugged his shoulders as Kakashi looked over at Naruto. Of course not, Naruto. I'm just doubting Yamato's teaching skills. Naruto was then engulfed into an enormous hug. Naruto, you did amazing. Are you hurt? He did hit you a lot at the end. Do you need to go to the medics? Naruto blushed. Mom, I'm all right. Well, actually, I wanted Tsunade to do something for me. What is it, brat? Asked Tsunade. Could you unblock my chakra points? Asked Naruto. Tsunade walked over to Naruto and placed her hand over his forehead. Naruto suddenly felt a rush of chakra and felt his chakra flowing correctly again. That should sew it. Naruto backed off. So, how's Sasuke doing? He's amazing, spoke Lee. Naruto eyed the boy in crutches. Lee, right? I didn't exactly see your match, but I heard about that speed you have. So, what's so amazing about Sasuke? Lee tightened his grip on his crutches. Yes, but Sasuke managed to reach the same level as me. In just 1 month. Naruto looked down at Sasuke's fight. Guy then looked over to Kakashi. So how did he do it? Kakashi looked down at Sasuke. Well, I just had him imagine Lee's speed and had him copy it with his Sharingan. I wasn't sure if it was going to work, but it did. Naruto shrugged his shoulders. That wasn't all he learned, was it? I mean, no offense, Kakashi, but it isn't exactly perfect. I mean what I heard from Lee's taijutsu. It's meant to be faster. Kakashi shrugged his shoulders. We weren't aiming for perfection. Just something close. Naruto looked over to Lee. Lee, just because he managed to copy your style doesn't mean he's better than you. There's something the Sharingan can't copy. That's someone's would have pushed themselves to the limit. I don't know you very well, but what I've heard from you, you sound like the type of guy to never quit. And I think that's the greatest characteristic a ninja can have. Lee looked at Naruto with a shocked expression. Thank you, Naruto. Guy behind Lee begun to sprout anime tears. Yash Yamato, you have such a youthful genin. Kushina looked at Naruto. Naruto, you sure have grown into such a mature young man. Suddenly, Naruto heard chippering in the far distance. Turning his head up to the match, he watched Sasuke collect a ball of chakra in his hands. Then suddenly lightning exploded from it. Naruto's eyes widened. Is that your lightning blade, Kakashi? Not exactly. It's the Chidori, replied Kakashi. Naruto zoned out a bit as he turned on his Sharingan to eye the Tachink. This is actually familiar to adding elemental change to the Rasengan. I wonder how Kakashi did it. As Sasuke rushed toward the dome of sand Gaara had created, Naruto watched as flower petals begun to fall out of the sky. Having already had his Sharingan active, he dispelled the genjutsu. Line Orochimaru looked down at Sasuke's fight. Kikoku, this is perfect. I'll have a few Uchiha captured during the chaos. Orochimaru moved his mouth toward his Suna guard. Commence the attack. Yes, sir. The guarddom signaled an ANBU member off to the side. Minato watched the exchange with curiosity. Then suddenly his attention was taken to the genjutsu cast across the whole arena. What's going on? Turning around, he barely managed to avoid Orochimaru's blade. Dodging to the side, he smacked the sword away. So you finally decided to come out, Orochimaru. Orochimaru, still wearing the Kazekage outfit, chuckled. So you saw through my deception, Kuku. Minato threw a 3-pronged kunai at him, but Orochimaru expertly knocked it away and got away to dodge Minato's teleportation. Orochimaru then jumped onto the rooftop. Minato followed in pursuit. You aren't getting away. Minato jumped onto the rooftop. where Orochimaru stood on the other side. Minato walked over and faced Orochimaru. "You're not going to run away, are you?" Minato pulled out a bunch of his kunai and spread them across the rooftop. Orochimaru smiled as suddenly 4 ninja appeared on every corner. They put a seal on each corner of the rooftop and weaved a few hand seals. They quickly set up a barrier trapping Minato inside. Orochimaru chuckled. "What makes you such a feared ninja, Minato?" "It's that jutsu of yours, the Flying Thunder God Tachink. But what if that weapon was taken away from you?" Minato's eyes widened in shock as he tried to get a feel for the kunai around. "What did you do?" Orochimaru started to laugh evilly. Minato, years have I waited for this moment. Years of creating this barrier in order to fight you. This barrier is specifically made to not just trap you in here, but to also disable your ability to use that jutsu." Orochimaru then weaved a few hand seals. "Now let's see how you handle going against your predecessors." Edo Tensei Jutsu. 2 coffins exploded from the ground. Minato gritted his teeth and put his kunai forward. "Damn, this is not good." Lying as the ninja around Naruto also broke the Tachink, Naruto looked over to Yamato. "Sensei, what's going on?" Yamato pulled out kunai. "We're being attacked. Look out!" Naruto pulled out his sword and turned around. A sound ninja suddenly attacked him. Blocking the first strike, he maneuvered his way around him and pierced him through his heart. Pulling his sword out, he then took on another ninja. Getting rid of him was quicker, and Naruto jumped to the top. He looked toward Kakashi and Yamato and was surprised to also see Mito, Sakura, Shikamaru, Sai, and Yakumo. Sakura shouted at Kakashi, "Sensei, Sasuke, he's chasing after the Sand Genin." Kakashi took out another ninja. "I know." Summoning Jutsu, Kakashi slammed his hand into the ground and a small dog came out. "All right, you 6 will go after Sasuke, and after getting him you will proceed to go towards a safe point in the village." "Got it." "Paku will be the mission leader." Paku looked up at the 6 genin. "Sup, I'm Paku." Yamato then created a hole in the wall. Though before they could go through, Naruto was suddenly attacked by a leaf AMBU. "What the hell?" shouted Naruto. Naruto pulled out his sword and blocked his glowing hands. Jumping back into the arena, he danced around with the AMBU, when suddenly Tsunade appeared out of nowhere and managed to smack him head off. He was then launched into the wall, but he turned into a log. Naruto's eyes widened fast. Turning around, he blocked the same AMBU again. Naruto then looked into the man's eyes. The man suddenly felt his movements slow down, and Naruto managed to swipe his mask off. As his mask was taken off, his silver hair came into view, and the light reflecting off his glasses. Naruto looked at the man. "You're that genin from the exams. What the hell are you doing?" Kakashi and Tsunade then appeared by his side. "If it isn't Kabuto Yakushi, I'm surprised you made an appearance after your little stunt." Kabuto smirked. "I got to say, Naruto, you're as good as they say. I was told by Orochimaru to capture you, but I doubt that will be possible. I guess I'm just going to hope that our other man can snatch one of the Uchiha brats." Naruto's eyes narrowed in anger. "You wouldn't." "Oh, but we did Naruto. He should be raiding the academy about now." "I doubt you'll make it in time," answered Kabuto. Suddenly a dozen of sound shinobi appeared around them. Naruto then looked over at the group of genin. "Go on without me. I have something to take care of." Mito was going to protest when Yakumo answered, "Okay, take care, Naruto. Let's go, guys." The genin then disappeared, and Naruto looked around. "Where's my mom?" Tsunade looked down at Naruto. "Shizen got her out of here. Under the genjutsu, I hope. A pregnant lady shouldn't be fighting out here, and knowing my mom, she would probably raise some hell," replied Naruto. Tsunade asked, "How did you know?" "I tend to know things." "Well, I hope you can handle yourselves. I need to get to the academy," replied Naruto. Kakashi looked down at Naruto. "Take it easy, Naruto. It's probably a trap to lure you in, and I won't allow you to go. In fact, I'm ordering you to stay here." Naruto closed his eyes. "You're not exactly my Jounin sensei." Yamato appeared by their side. Well, I am, and you're not going. Naruto reopened his eyes, revealing the 8-rounded star. Then good luck stopping me. Kimui, Kakashi was able to catch a glimpse of his eye, and watched as he disappeared into a little vortex. Yamato, Tsunade, and Kakashi stood there amazed. What was that? Asked Yamato. Kakashi stood there silently. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait to ask him later. We gotta take care of these guys first. Line Haruka was impatiently walking to the next room. She was in the middle of a test, which would allow her to move up a year, but that had been interrupted by the chunin teachers. Haruka sighed as she walked into a room her whole class had been moved into. As she walked in, she raced over to Ken and Katashi. Guys, what are you doing here? I mean, aren't you supposed to be in the oldest class? Ken shrugged his shoulder. I don't know. It seems everyone is being brought here. I wonder why. Suddenly, Kimimaro appeared. I think it has to be with the smoke coming from the arena. It set all the teachers on edge. Katashi looked out the window. Maybe a jutsu went wrong? Though I doubt a mere genin managed to cause that much damage. I hope Big Brother's all right. He was supposed to fight first, added in Haruka. Kimimaro shrugged her off. Don't worry about the boss. He's the strongest genin I know. Katashi put his hand on Haruka's shoulder. I'm not much for words, but Naruto is going to be all right. Suddenly, Iruka burst into the room. Everyone quiet down. It's an emergency. Every academy student did exactly that. Suddenly, 3 more teachers entered the room. Iruka then proceeded to talk. I don't want you guys to panic. The village is under attack, and we need to move you guys to safety. Suddenly, the room erupted into chaos. But Iruka managed to calm everything down. We need to MO dash. Suddenly, an explosion was heard from the front of the building. Iruka cursed, and one of the chunins headed for the door. We need to move. Iruka stopped him. Not the door. They've already breached the building. Through the window. Everyone regroup right outside. Now, go. Understanding the danger, all the students raced out the small array of windows. Small weeping could be heard among the students. Once everyone was outside, Iruka gave more instructions. We will proceed in 2 lines, and we will head towards a secret entrance by the academy training grounds. The group managed to shuffle towards a secret entrance. Iruka opened it and allowed one of the teachers to lead the group. They managed to get most of the students in, when suddenly a kunai with an explosive note was embedded inches above the entrance. Iruka grabbed the student who was about to enter and jumped backwards, everyone back. The note exploded, closing in the entrance. Iruka and the other chunin turned around to face a very pale man. The man had a weird mark on his forehead. Where are the Uchiha? Ken, Katashi, and Haruka suddenly felt a sudden urge of terror flow through them. Iruka and the chunin pulled out a kunai. Who are you? And what do you want? The man stayed impassive. I'm Kimimaro, and I want the Uchiha. Where are they? Iruka and the chunin them rushed toward Kimimaro. The chunin attempted to get underneath him, but Kimimaro effortlessly dodged him, and he pulled out a bone-like weapon. He then pierced him into the stomach and kicked him away. Iruka saw the damage and jumped away. He's very skilled, at least Jounin level. I don't know if I'll be able to take him on, but I have no choice. Iruka threw some kunai and pressed the attack. Kimimaro deflected the attack and fought Iruka. Iruka dodged the strike. He's very skilled in taijutsu. I need to get some distance. Though suddenly Kimimaro pierced him into the stomach, but he poofed into a log with paper bombs. Kimimaro barely managed to jump away when the log exploded. Iruka threw more paper bombs, trying to take him down, though suddenly Kimimaro caught on and sneaked up on him. He then kicked him toward his students into a defeated state. As Iruka coughed up some blood, he looked at his students. Run. Suddenly Kimimaro walked forward with his bone-like weapon. This is the end, leaf scum. No, it isn't it. Fire release. Fireball jutsu, shouted out Haruka as a large ball of fire was launched from Haruka's mouth. Kimimaro sighed, and he cut through the fireball. Haruka's eyes widen. Amazing, but I can't let that scare me. I'm Haruka Uchiha, and I won't allow you to hurt no more, declared Haruka. Suddenly Katashi and Ken appeared by here. Katashi Uchiha. Ken Uchiha Iruka screamed out, "What are you doing? Get out of here." Kimimaro smirked. "Good. Now I won't have to hunt you down. Let's make this quick." Kimimaro disappeared and appeared right by Haruka. He then kicked her right into the stomach, and she went flying backwards. He tried to hit Katashi and Ken, but they were a bit quicker, though Kimimaro managed to catch up. Suddenly Kimimaro struck with his bone-like weapon toward Katashi. Kakashi's eyes widened in fear. "I can't move fast enough." Ken also looked at his friend with fear. Katashi. Then simultaneously both Ken's and Katashi's eyes changed into a red color, with a tomo in each eye. Quickly Katashi and Ken put up their kunai to block Kimimaro's strike. Kimimaro looked down at their eyes. Perfect. They've unlocked the Sharingan. Lord Orochimaru will be pleased. Katashi and Ken jumped back to Haruka, who was being aided by Konohamaru. Konohamaru looked at the Uchiha. "Can all of you use that fire jutsu?" They all nodded their heads. "Okay, then distract him for a moment. When I give the signal, I need all of you to use it at the same time, okay?" They nodded, and the Uchiha all pulled out shuriken and kunai and threw them at Kimimaro. Kimimaro deflected them all, but suddenly Konohamaru appeared from above. Fire release. Burning ash, a cloud of ash exploded from Konohamaru's mouth and covered Kimimaro. Konohamaru jumped back. Now, the three Uchiha unleashed the same jutsu. Fire release. Fireball jutsu. As soon as the fire combination hit the ash, it engulfed the whole affected area. Haruka, Katashi, Ken, and Konohamaru fell to their knees, panting hard. "I'm out of chakra," said Ken. Katashi replied, "Me too." Konohamaru slowly stood up. "I think we're all out." "Did we get him?" asked Haruka. Iruka stared at the four academy students. Amazing for just academy students. That was still amazing. "Not quite, dear," came voice from the smoke. Everyone looked over to the voice. Then Kimimaro was shown walking out shirtless. "Let's clean this up." He then rushed toward them, but suddenly the air around them distorted. A small black hole opened up, and Naruto came flying out with Zabos' blade. He slammed the blade inches in front of Kimimaro. Standing next to the blade, Sharingan blazing, he stared him down. "Yeah, allow me to clean this up." The four students all shouted, "Naruto!" Iruka looked up at Naruto. "Naruto? Iruka-sensei, you don't look that good. Allow me to take over," spoke Naruto. Iruka looked up at Naruto. "Be careful. He seems to use bones as weapons." "Don't worry, Iruka-sensei," exclaimed Naruto. "Now everyone stay back." "Another Uchiha, perfect. Lord Orochimaru will be pleased, especially with a fully matured one," exclaimed Kimimaro. Suddenly Naruto appeared behind him with kunai in hand. "Don't underestimate me." Kimimaro eyes widened. "Quick." Naruto then proceeded to stab him in the back, but to his surprise a bone sprung out and broke his kunai. Kimimaro attempted to elbow him, but Naruto ducked. Kimimaro followed it up with a kick, but Naruto flashed through some hand seals. Water release. Water wall jutsu. A wall erupted around Naruto, blocking Kimimaro's kick. Naruto flashed through some more hand seals. Water release. Tearing torrent. 2 torrents of water erupted from the wall and missed Kimimaro by inches. Kimimaro jumped back, very skilled in ninjutsu. "I need to be careful." Naruto jumped back to Iruka. "I need you to move, Iruka. Get the kids out of here." Suddenly, Kimimaro launched an enormous barrage of large bone pellets toward Naruto and the academy students. Naruto threw Iruka out of the way, but he noticed that some of the kids were unable to run. His eyes morphed into the 8-rounded star. "I can't transport so many of them. What do I do?" Naruto did the only thing he could think of and put himself in front of the barrage. The stress in his eye became visible as veins begun to appear. Then Naruto whispered one word, Susanoo. Flashback, no jutsu, Susano. Naruto's body was suddenly engulfed in a light orange aroma. An enormous rib cage appeared around him. The incoming projectiles did no damage as they bounced off the rib cage. Naruto looked at the technique. Susanoo? That's a Mangekyo Sharingan to chink. Is this supposed to be like a defense? Suddenly Kimimaro appeared in front of him, bone spear in hand, and jabbed at the rib cage. When the bone spear hit the rib cage, it broke in half. Kimimaro's eyes widened before jumping back. Naruto looked back at Kimimaro. He can't hurt me, but I can't attack him either. It seems the Susanoo is impenetrable, but what's the point if I can't attack? The three Uchiha in the back gazed at Naruto's technique. Ken asked, "It's almost like a rib cage? What is that?" "I don't know. I've never seen anything like it." "You're the closest with him, Haruka, do you know?" asked Katashi. When he appeared, his eyes had already changed into the Mangekyo Sharingan. "Is this a Mangekyo Sharingan technique?" pondered Haruka before answering. "I've never seen it before." "Who cares?" "I mean the bone guy can't touch him," yelled Konohamaru. Irika then looked at the small group of kids. "Guys, quiet down. We need to get you guys out of here." Haruka crossed her hands. "We can't leave Naruto." Irika looked at Naruto. "I know. He was once my student, and it pains me to leave him, but we're being a burden to him. If he had not used whatever that tachink is, then a few of you would be dead. Naruto can handle himself, and I'm sure a squad of black ops is on its way here." "He's right. Just go," yelled Naruto. "No, I'm staying right here," shouted Haruka. Naruto looked back for a brief second and made eye contact with Haruka. As Haruka stared into the 8-rounded star, she suddenly felt her body go out and she collapsed, falling to the ground. Ken barely managed to grab her. Naruto faced Kimimaro once again. "Now go." Irika nodded and begun to direct everyone as best as he could. Being injured himself, he was a bit slow to move. As Katashi begun to move, an image was burned into his memory. What was that back there? I mean, Naruto's Sharingan was almost like a star. Kimimaro sized up Naruto. "This brat is good. Very, but I can't fail Lord Orochimaru. I need to lure him out of this defense, or..." Kimimaro looked at Naruto's feet. "It seems his defense doesn't protect him from attacks underneath." Kimimaro pulled out a few bones and placed them into the dirt. Then he raced off towards Naruto. Naruto's attention was pulled back to Kimimaro. He raced forward and pulled out some kunai. Kimimaro relentlessly attacked Naruto's Susanoo, but his attempts were futile. Naruto grabbed some kunai with paper bombs and threw them at Kimimaro. "Hope this works." The kunai passed through the Susanoo and went flying towards Kimimaro. Kimimaro managed to dodge and jump back. Naruto then raced off towards the executioner blade and pulled it out of the ground. "It seems things can pass from the inside, so I can use the executioner blade's size to my advantage." Kimimaro jumped back, luring Naruto towards his trap. As Naruto raced towards Kimimaro, he suddenly noticed a hint of chakra a few feet away from him. Jumping up, he failed to avoid the trap. Kimimaro molded a hand sign, and the bones underneath sprang up. Naruto deactivated his Susanoo and used the second ability of his Kamui. Kimimaro watched with shock as the bones phased through Naruto. Naruto lurched forward, and Kimimaro swung with his blade. Once again, Kimimaro watched as his blade simply phased through Naruto. Naruto then appeared inches in front of Kimimaro's eyes. As they both made eye contact, Naruto's right eye suddenly produced little veins. Tsukuyomi, Kimimaro suddenly heard his heartbeat, and the world around him changed. His eyes were strangely directed towards the moon, where he could see a reflection of Naruto's Mangekyo Sharingan. Then suddenly he felt himself shackled to the ground. Looking down at the ground, he noticed his feet were chained down. Then suddenly the chains pulled his arms up. Looking up, 2 trees appeared to his sides. Then suddenly a kunai was thrown into his right side. Kimimaro grunted. My bones should have stopped something as simple as a kunai. Slowly more and more kunai begun to pierce him. Every time pain swelled through his body. as more and more kunai was launched into his skin. Slowly the kunai came from all directions. It wasn't until all the kunai had exploded that he noticed the paper bombs attached. Kimimaro felt the pain as his body was torn apart. Then suddenly everything turned black, and once again he was chained to the tree. As he looked at his body, he couldn't see a single scratch. Is this genjutsu? But the pain, it felt so real. Naruto suddenly appeared. Welcome to Tsukuyomi, my ultimate genjutsu, where I control the perception of time and space. In the real world, a few seconds may pass, but in here 36 hours will pass. For the next 35 hours and 45 minutes you are my prisoner. Kimimaro's eyes widen. Is that even possible? Much to Naruto's surprise, Kimimaro didn't let out a single scream, but his grunts of pain was enough for Naruto. Naruto took a deep breath as he jumped back. He watched as Kimimaro fell to his knees and collapsed to the ground. Suddenly Naruto felt the air behind him stir. So it's over? Naruto closed his eyes and deactivated his Mangekyo Sharingan. Turning around, he ended up looking at two AMBU members. The one who had asked the question had a cat-like mask and had long purple hair. Her partner was a bit larger and had spiky brown hair with a bear-like mask. Yeah, he won't be getting up for a while, replied Naruto as he turned around to face the AMBU. Bear looked down at Naruto. You took him down all by yourself? I heard this guy took down multiple chunin with ease. He's down, isn't he? As well I thought they had sent a full squad, replied Naruto. Yet you managed to take him down, didn't you? Replied Cat. A mere genin. I don't know to be impressed or assume the enemy is weak. Whatever. I'll be going dash. Suddenly all three leaf ninjas stiffed up. They turned around towards the direction of Kimimaro. Kimimaro's body had obviously changed, and he was rushing toward them with a large bone spear in each hand. In seconds he managed to stab Bear right through the heart, and almost landed a killer blow on Naruto and Cat. Though Naruto managed to grab Cat and activate his Mangekyo Sharingan, Kamui, much to Kimimaro's frustration, Naruto and Cat phased through his blow. As Naruto pulled Cat back, they got into a defensive position. As soon as Cat managed to recompose herself, she pulled out her sword. What was that? I thought you said he was down. Naruto's breathing slowly rose. That was one of my special techniques. It allows me to pass through stuff. As for him, how are you still even standing? You could see the expression of pain through Kimimaro's face. Naruto Uzumaki, that visual prowess of yours is terrifying. I must admit that genjutsu is the most painful thing I've endured in my life. But I've endured pain in the past, and I will continue to endure for Lord Orochimaru. What do you mean? Asked Naruto. What pain? Why are you so loyal to Orochimaru? Kimimaro looked toward Naruto. I lived most of my life as a weapon of mass destruction for my clan. Even in my clan, the Kagaya clan, no one has attained the type of power I achieved. I was locked up as an animal to be used in battle only. When my clan ceased to exist, Orochimaru, he gave me purpose in life. His dream became my dream, and I'll do anything to achieve it. What's this dream of his? Asked Naruto. Kimimaro replied, immortality. He is already halfway there, actually. The only thing he needs is a new body. A soul may be eternal, but the body is not. This is where you come into play. Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto gritted his teeth and looked over at Cat. Are you ready? If you're down with your little integration, then yes, replied Cat as her purple hair shadowed her mask. Naruto began to examine Kimimaro's new look. There wasn't much change, just that a whole array of seals had appeared on his whole body. We'll take this one step at a time. He seems to have already activated Orochimaru's curse mark. So you know about the cursed seal of earth? Asked Kimimaro. Naruto's eyebrows narrowed. Cursed seal of earth? I thought it was heaven. Could it be like a related seal? Regardless, I must be careful. In fact, I need to finish this quickly. I'm going to need you to distract him. Cat. Finally spoke Naruto. Cat looked down at Naruto. Why should I be taking orders from you? I'm the ANBU here. 'Cause I've been fighting him this whole time, and I've already come up with a plan. Naruto's eyes morphed into the 8-rounded star. I'm sure you've noticed these eyes aren't your regular Sharingan. This is the Mangekyo Sharingan, an advanced stage of the Sharingan. With this I'll take him down, but I need you to buy me some time. Cat looked up at Kimimaro. Fine, let's do this. Kabuto smirked as he watched Naruto disappeared. The squad of Sound Ninja was easily being disposed by Tsunade, Kakashi, Guy, and Yamato. Kabuto then looked for his next target. Looking around, he finally caught sight of the third Hokage. Kabuto then formed a hand seal and begun to sense around. It seems the snake's summonings have distracted Jiraiya. Now to take care of Tsunade and Lord Thrid. He watched as Tsunade had caught eye of him once again. Rushing towards him, Kabuto jumped back and started to weave some hand signs. He then clapped his hands together. 2 coffins rose from the ground. Kabuto smirked as the lids fell forward, and a flashback crept his mind. Flashback, No, Jutsu Kabuto and Orochimaru were quietly discussing in a dark, isolated room. Kabuto handed Orochimaru his ninja cards. Lord Orochimaru, these are all the information I've collected from the exams. What is our next move? We must plan our attack, and I'm going to need you, Kabuto. You will be playing a big role, replied Orochimaru. What will I be doing? What is our plan, Lord Orochimaru? Asked Kabuto. Orochimaru smirked. Allow me to begin from the top. Once Sasuke's match is near the end, you will unleash a genjutsu across the arena, thus signaling the start of the invasion. Once that occurs, we must take care of 4 individuals. Orochimaru looked down at the cards. Make it 5? Who would that be, sir? Besides Minato, asked Kabuto. First would be Jiraiya, my foolish former teammate. We'll distract him with the snake summoning in order to unleash the Shikaku. Thus comes our second person, Naruto Uzumaki, replied Orochimaru. Kabuto pushed his glasses in. A genin? Why him? Well, you managed to find some information that both disturbed and interested me. A mission report on an A-rank mission completed and waived by Naruto's team. The report states that Naruto managed to subdue his Jinchuriki sister with just his visual powers. If he could do that, he can easily suppress the Shikaku, the weakest of tailed beasts, replied Orochimaru. I see. So what do we do about him? Asked Kabuto. Orochimaru pulled a card out and showed the image of Kimimaro. We will send Kimimaro to attack the younger Uchiha in the academy. You will bait him, and Kimimaro should be more than enough to take him down and bring him back to me. I see. So who are the other 3? Asked Kabuto. This is where I'll need your help. I've created a barrier where all Fuinjutsu is useless without a special seal. Orochimaru then tugged his shirt, revealing a sealing formula. I'll still be able to use my jutsu, and I'll disable Minato from using his teleportation jutsu. Kabuto asked, though wouldn't that disable you from shedding your body and creating a new one? Yes. If I was to shed, I would lose the sealing formula. But don't worry about me. I need you to distract 2 individuals who are capable of ruining our plan, spoke Orochimaru. Orochimaru then pulled out a scroll. You need to distract Tsunade and the 3rd Hokage. This scroll contains 2 individuals. 2 individuals who you will use the Edo Tensei on. The first one will be Dan Kato, Tsunade's deceased lover. Physiological warfare? Ruthless Lord Orochimaru. And the second? I must assume he must be powerful, since you will be using him against Lord Third, replied Kabuto. Orochimaru chuckled. Yes, he's very strong. You could say I came upon him by accident. You see, a few years back, a man who was supposed to be dead was claimed to still be alive. This drove my interest greatly, and I started poking around for his DNA. I managed to find his grave, and surprised to indeed find nothing there. Yet I managed to find some DNA. I researched his DNA, and came up short. Thus the idea of ensuring that he was still alive occurred to me. I used the Edo Tensei, and to my surprise, he was actually dead. Now a pawn under my control? Cuckoo, who is it? Asked Kabuto. Orochimaru smiled evilly. The reason I become so obsessed with the Sharingan, Madara Uchiha. Kabuto's eyes widen in shock. Madara Uchiha? I thought he was behind the attack 13 years ago. Orochimaru handed Kabuto the scroll. Brings a very interesting conspiracy, doesn't it? Well, Madara Uchiha won't be able to use the Mangekyo Sharingan, since I doubt I'll be able to control him to that extent. Even with just his regular Sharingan, he will be a force to be reckoned with. The destruction of the village hidden in the leaves is near. Flashback, Eno Ujutsu released Tsunade stopped in her tracks as two coffins rose up. As the lids popped open, her body completely stopped. All she could hear was her loud heartbeat as she stared down the man in the right coffin, Dan Kodo. The man Tsunade had come to love was once again standing among the living. Dan stepped forward and he choked out a few words. Tsunade? Is it really you? Dan was all that Tsunade managed to say, as her throat suddenly felt clogged up. Madara had also stepped out and begun examining himself. It seems he did manage to groom the brat. Wait, is this not the Geto art Rinne rebirth? Kabuto slithered behind Madara. This is the Edo Tensei, Madara Uchiha. It looks almost like you expected to be reanimated. Who are you? Asked Madara. I am Kabuto, and I reanimated you today for a single purpose. To destroy the village hidden in the leaves, replied Kabuto as he pulled out two kunais with sealing tags attached. Madara smirked. I might as well have a bit of fun. Though how come I'm not at full power? You're only limited to your Sharingan. Any more and I'll doubt we'll be able to restrain you, replied Kabuto. Kabuto placed a kunai into Madara's head, and his eyes quickly morphed into the Sharingan. Dan, having seen what was happening, looked toward Tsunade. Tsunade, you must stop me at all costs. Kabuto placed the same kunai into Dan's head. His body lurched forward and his eyes turned cold. Tsunade fell to her knees. This can't be happening. No, it can't be. Kakashi jumped to Tsunade's side. Tsunade, looking forward, Kakashi almost jumped out of his skin. Madara Uchiha? Is this the Edo Tensei? Madara gave him an evil smile and raced toward Kakashi and Tsunade, while Dan followed close behind. In the barrier, Minato watched as the two coffin lids fell forward. The first and second Hokage came into view. The first Hokage blinked. Who are you? What is this? Brother? It seems someone has used the Edo Tensei, but for what purpose? Asked the second. Cuckoo, Lord First and Lord Second. Today you will fight the fourth Hokage, answered Orochimaru as he walked up behind them, with kunai in hand. Fourth Hokage? Then it seems Hiruzen's time as Hokage is over. I trust Hiruzen's judgment, and will put my faith in you fourth. Stop us at any cost, replied the second Hokage. Then suddenly Orochimaru put the kunai inside their heads. The Hokage's bodies jerked forward, and the look in their eyes changed. Minato took a deep breath, and the Hokages lurched forward. Minato gripped his kunai and raced towards him as well. Kat put her sword in front of her, and raced off towards Kimimaro. Without forming a hand, Seal Cat called out, "Leaf style." Dance of the Crescent Moon 2 shadow clones appeared, and the trio attacked Mange to destroy the first clone. The second one forced him to turn around. Then the real one managed to get past his two swords. Cat tempted to slice across his chest, but suddenly 6 bones popped out of Kimimaro's body. One of the bones managed to block Cat's strikes. Kimimaro countered and managed to swipe Cat's mask off. As Cat's mask was knocked off her face, she fell backwards. Kimimaro rose his arm up to land the killing blow when he felt a tug at his head. Naruto had been standing by the side with his left eye closed. This ANBU is good, but this guy is better. Naruto watched as Cat was unmasked and knocked to the ground. Damn it, I still haven't gathered enough chakra. I have no choice, Kamui. Naruto left, I sprung open, and his eye begun to bleed slightly. Naruto focused his chakra on Kimimaro's head, but suddenly he felt his control over the portal loosen. He watched as Kimimaro managed to move just enough, where Naruto only managed to rip off his whole right arm. Naruto clutched his left eye. Damn it, When Neji managed to close my chakra points, he managed to target the ones that connected to my Sharingan. Even though Tsunade reopened them, it still screwed over my chakra control. Not to mention, I couldn't gather chakra quickly enough to create a faster portal. Kimimaro grunted in pain. What the hell was that? I have no choice. Curse mark level 2-inch Kimimaro's appearance changed drastically. His hair became much longer, and the marks on his body started to make his skin all gray. His eyes changed color, and his bones changed too. Then suddenly Kimimaro's right arm was replaced by a thick bone-like spear. Kimimaro then raised his arm up again to strike Cat, though this time Cat managed to move and dodge the oncoming attack. Naruto, seeing an opening, shunshined in front of Cat. Executioner blade in hand, Naruto slammed the blade into Kimimaro's chest. Then suddenly the bones in Kimimaro's body shifted to his chest. As Naruto's blade made contact with Kimimaro, the blade snapped in half. Naruto's eyes widened, and he dropped the blade. Grabbing Cat, he shunshined back to a safe spot. Naruto dropped Cat and caught his breath. Taking a better look at Cat's real face, Naruto had to admit she was a beauty, though what popped out the most were her big purple eyes and bright red lips. So, what's your real name? Cat got back up. Yugao Yuzuki, yours? Naruto Uzumaki, replied Naruto. What was that back there? You opened up a portal and completely ripped off his arm. I've never seen such a powerful jutsu, replied Yugao. I'll explain it to you in a minute because it's going to be essential for our next plan. I was able to catch a good glimpse of his ultimate defense, the one that managed to break my executioner's blade, answered Naruto. Wait, that sword belongs to Zabuza of the Mist. How did you get your hands on such a blade? Asked Yugao. I'll tell you some other time, but here's the plan, replied Naruto. Kimimaro was looking for the two-leaf ninja. He clutched the place where his right arm once was. The ANBU isn't the problem, it's Naruto. His visual prowess goes beyond what Orochimaru believed it to be. That technique back there, had he been at full strength, I would be dead right now. I know it wasn't my strength that allowed me to avoid that jutsu, but his lack of control. It's scary to imagine what type of damage he could do with complete control. It seems capturing him is no longer an option. I must kill him, and make sure he won't be a problem for Orochimaru in the future. Now, where did they go? Kimimaro's question was answered when Naruto and Yugao appeared out into the open. Yugao raced forward. Hazy moon night. Yugao put her sword vertically in the air, and then she begun to move her sword. Much to Kimimaro's shock, Yugao begun leaving an afterimage. Yugao dodged his two spear hands and begun slashing his body. Kimimaro shook his head. Your skill in Kenjutsu is one of a kind, but mine is better. Kimimaro then pierced Yugao right in the heart. Her eyes widened in shock, but suddenly she burst into a cloud of smoke. Naruto then burst through the cloud of smoke with a Rasengan in hand. Kimimaro's eyes widened in shock. A shadow clone? That sneaky brat. Kimimaro swung at Naruto, but Naruto managed to dodge them. Ducking underneath, he pushed the Rasengan towards Kimimaro's chest. Naruto smiled when he watched Kimimaro use the same jutsu as he did before. The bones in Kimimaro's body all shift toward his chest to block the upcoming attack. Naruto slammed the Rasengan into his chest. Rasengan. Kimimaro screamed as bones on his body begun to crack slightly, but he managed to hang on. Naruto gritted his teeth. Just as I thought, the Rasengan won't be enough. But that's not the plan. Naruto's closed his right eye for a brief second before opening it again. Kimimaro's eyes widened. That jutsu again? Then suddenly Yugao was launched from Naruto's right eye. Yugao jumped behind Kimimaro and dug her heel into the ground. Her sword glowing with chakra, she stabbed Kimimaro right into his heart. Kimimaro coughed up blood, and Naruto deactivated his Rasengan. Flashing through a few hand seals, he placed his hand on Kimimaro's chest. Contract seal. Suddenly Kimimaro's appearance slowly returned back to normal. What? What did you do? How? Naruto smirked. I saw through your defense, Kimimaro. It's fueled by the cursed seal. and what allows it to even stop attacks as powerful as my father's Rasengan. So I cut that connection and gave Yugao an opportunity to get you from behind. Not to mention that you leave the rest of your body defenseless by focusing your bones in one spot. Yugao looked at Naruto. What a brilliant kid. Not only does have the strength, he's highly intelligent, being able to analyze and counter the enemy's jutsu in such a fashion. I haven't seen such brilliance from any Uchiha since Itachi or Shursui. Yugao then looked into Naruto's eyes, those eyes of his, the Mangekyo Sharingan. I never imagined that a dojutsu could hold so much power. Flashback. So this plan of yours includes that technique, right? Asked Yugao. Naruto nodded. I'll explain to you the technique. It's called Kamui, but you could also call it the transportation technique, since it does exactly that. I can transport anything into a different dimension, and I can also transport anything back. That's where you come into play. Is it safe? Asked Yugao. Not just me, but there must be so backlash for such a powerful technique. I mean, that's probably the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Naruto remained silent. It's completely safe for you. I've done it a bunch of times. Don't worry about me. Yugao frowned. Naruto jumped back as Kimimaro's lifeless body fell to the ground. He finally deactivated his Mangekyo Sharingan and walked over to pick up his blade. Though when he went to pick up his blade by its handle, instead of feeling the cold metal in his hand, he felt soft grass. Naruto looked down at the blade, and he finally noticed that his vision was beginning to blur. Clutching his eyes, Naruto cursed. So, this is the cost of using the Mangekyo Sharingan. Damn. I really hope my vision does indeed heal. How the hell did you manage this, Shursui? Naruto closed his eyes and picked up his blade. Broken in half, he simply swiped it through Kimimaro's blood and watched as it slowly regenerated, sealing it back into the seal on his right arm. He looked over to Yugao, who was currently placing her fallen teammate against a tree. Naruto sighed. I need to regroup with Kakashi at the arena. I guess this is where we part ways, Yugao. Don't be silly. You aren't in perfect condition to get to Kakashi. He's at the arena, and it's a war zone down there. I'll go with you, replied Yugao. Naruto dusted himself off. I'm fine. I can handle myself. I'm not stupid, kid. I've been a ninja far longer than you. Those techniques you used were all high-level jutsus. As well, the eye techniques must have taken some sort of toll. What is it? Blindness? Asked Yugao. Naruto's eyes narrowed. How did? Yes. The cost for such visual powers is blindness. In my case, it's temporary blindness. Fine, let's go. They jumped to the trees and made their way to the arena. As they raced off, Yugao commented, if you make through this brat, you should consider joining ANBU. You have the talent. Naruto remained silent as he thought of both Itachi and Shursui. I don't think it would be a smart choice, but I'll think about it. Yugao and Naruto raced off to the arena. Flashback, and Jutsu line Tsunade remained frozen in place as she watched Dan come closer. Kakashi, right by her side, looked down at Tsunade. She's frozen in place. Pulling out a kunai, he blocked Madara's strike. Madara smirked. That won't be enough to handle me. Leaf brat. Madara activated his Sharingan and proceeded to attack Kakashi with his own kunai. He managed to easily overwhelm Kakashi, forcing him to jump back. Madara was about to pounce on him, but suddenly 3 large wooden stakes erupted from the ground. Madara's eyes widened in shock, but a grin grew on his face as he jumped back. Hashirama? Where are you? Come out and fight my old friend. Kakashi looked over his shoulder to catch the view of Yamato. Thanks, Yamato. Madara rose an eyebrow. It seemed someone managed to copy Hashirama's wood release. What a disappointment. Suddenly, Madara looked up to notice the heel of a foot coming down at him. Dodging to the side, a man wearing a green spandex-like outfit slammed his foot into the ground. The result was a good-sized dent appearing in the ground. Guy jumped back. My internal rival. I came to assist you. Madara looked down at the hole in the ground. What immense strength. I don't think he was using chakra to reinforce his kick either. That was the result of pure strength. This just got much more interesting. Kakashi stood up with Yamato and Guy. All right, we'll take him down together. But we must be careful. And Tsunade. Kakashi turned around frantically looking for Tsunade and was surprised to find her across the arena, where Naruto and Yugao were battling with Dan. Naruto? Yugao? When did they get here? Madara answered. The red-haired brat? He appeared moments after I attacked you. An interesting brat. He possesses a Sharingan, doesn't he? The three ninjas didn't respond as Madara grinned. Well, let me tell you this. Only an Uchiha can beat an Uchiha, and by the looks of it, he's the only one I've seen. Matter in fact, I can only sense a few more, but they're obviously not any better. He's the one I want to dance with, so I'll make this quick. Kakashi lifted his forehead, protective, revealing his Sharingan. Well, I'm glad I have this. Madara's eyes widened before he grinned, Obito's left eye. This will be interesting. I wonder if he's aware of his Mangekyo Sharingan. If I can take him down, then I could get Obito's right eye. The only issue here are these Edo Tensei tags. The summoner couldn't seal away my conscience, but he can still control my body. I need to find a way to break the connection. Madara signed a few hand seals and slammed his hand onto the ground. Summoning jutsu, the array of seals for the summoning appeared, but the Nine Tails did not appear. The Nine Tails has not been captured either. I doubt he has commenced the plan yet. Kakashi, Yamato, and Guy all kept a watchful eye on Madara as they watched the failed attempt of the summoning jutsu. What do you think he was trying to summon? Asked Guy. Kakashi looked at Madara. My only guess is the nine-tailed fox. The three ninja gulped at the idea of facing the tailed beast, but their thoughts were interrupted when Madara lunged at them. Let's dance. Line Dan drew closer to Tsunade as he suddenly whipped out a kunai, drawing his hand up to land a blow. Tsunade watched helplessly as the love of her life was about to kill her. Closing her eyes, she awaited the final blow, when suddenly she heard the sound of metal slamming together. Suddenly, she felt her body shift, and she opened her eyes. She looked up to the face of Naruto. Are you all right? You're not the one to freeze up in battle, Grandma Tsunade. Naruto, show Lady Tsunade some respect. Came a voice behind Tsunade. Turning around, she looked up to a woman with long purple hair. What? Where's the disrespect? It's just my nickname to her. Calm down, Yugao, announced Naruto. Yugao was going to retaliate when she spoke up. He's coming. Naruto's eyes looked to the side, and his Sharingan managed to easily track Dan down. Pulling out his sword, he engaged him in battle. Exchanging a few blows, Naruto forced Dan's blade into the ground. Yugao suddenly appeared behind Dan and swiftly cut off his head. Naruto kicked him away. Too easy. Yugao placed her sword back into its sheath. Don't get too cocky, Naruto. The invasion isn't over. Naruto turned around and faced a horrified Tsunade. What's wrong? Tsunade managed to choke out, Naruto, look out! Naruto turned around to watch a blade coming down quickly on him. Rolling to the side, Naruto dodged the strike. How is he alive? Yugao and Naruto jumped back. What is he? Asked Yugao. Tsunade let out a small tear. He's an Edo Tensei, a soul reanimated to fight forever. You can cut him up 1,000,000 times, but he will just regenerate over and over again. That man is Dan Kodo. Naruto's eyes widened. Dan Kodo? As Shizun's uncle? I understand now what she must be going through. So how do we beat him? If we can't kill him like a human, asked Naruto. Tsunade closed her eyes and tried to think. I believe you must seal away the soul, or force the jutsu caster to release the jutsu, though the man who summoned them fled the scene a while ago. I don't know where he went. Naruto then pulled out a small scroll and unsealed much bigger and longer scroll. So sealing him is our only shot then. Yugao looked at Naruto. Do you have enough chakra? We used a lot in the last battle. I have plenty left to seal him away. replied Naruto as he grabbed the bigger sealing scroll. Yugao and Naruto both lined up in front of Tsunade, and Naruto asked, "Are you ready, Grandma Tsunade? We need your help to do this." Tsunade looked up at Naruto as she recalled the first time meeting him. Flashback, Tsunade was angrily walking out of the Hokage's office. She was quietly muttering all her troubles out loud, the nerve of Minato, to call me back to the village, threatening to mark me as a rouge ninja if I didn't. Suddenly a younger Shizen came out from the Hokage's office. "My lady, what are you going to do?" "I'll be honest, Shizen, I'm leaving. I don't care if I'm marked as a rouge ninja or not. But I think it would be wiser for you to stay, Shizen," replied Tsunade. Though before Shizen could protest, Tsunade continued, "It's not that I haven't enjoyed having you as a student, Shizen, but I know you still have feelings for this village. And I don't." Shizen looked right into the eyes of her mentor. "The final meeting is tomorrow, Lady Tsunade. I think you should really think this through." Tsunade shook her head and begun to walk out the building. Shizen followed, and they remained silent. Walking outside, they never saw the small ballon of paint fall from above. In an instant, Tsunade and Shizen was covered in blue paint. Tsunade blinked for a second until the sounds of laughter snapped her from her daze. Quickly clenching her fist, she looked up to see a young red-haired boy laughing from above. "Who do you think you are? I'm gonna get you, stupid brat." Tsunade watched as the young boy expertly jumped off the cement fence and landed in front of her. Tsunade eyed the boy for a minute. He's no older than 6, and he can already use chakra to jump off buildings. "I wonder who he is." Suddenly the young boy gave her a goofy smile. "Hey you, pigtails. I'm not a stupid brat. I'm Naruto Namikaze, and I'm going to be the greatest shinobi ever databeo." Tsunade's eyebrows suddenly twitched. "Pigtails?" Meanwhile, Shizen eyed Naruto. "So you're the son of Minato? Don't you have a twin sister too?" Naruto looked down at the ground. "Yeah, but I don't know where she is. Probably with Mom or something." Tsunade watched the young boy's emotions change quickly, but didn't give it much thought. Tsunade gave a loud sigh. "Just get out of my way, kid." Naruto eyed Tsunade. "That's it? Not even a small chase?" "I guess the pervy sage was right. Your appearance is only an illusion." Tsunade raised an eyebrow. "And who's this pervy sage?" Naruto grinned. "Jiraiya." Tsunade burst into tears of laughter. "The pervy sage. Ha ha, that's the best one yet." Naruto grinned. "Don't worry. I have one for you too. It's Grandma Tsunade. Since you're so old, databeo." Tsunade stopped laughing, and she suddenly appeared right in front of Naruto. Naruto's eyes widened in fear, and watched as she came closer with her index finger stretched out. "I need to move." Unaware, Naruto watched as everything seemed to slow down just enough for him to move to the side. Cracked, the wall behind Naruto suddenly cracked. Tsunade seemed a bit surprised. "It wasn't even a fraction of my full speed, but still, he managed to move so swiftly." Naruto didn't waste a second as he pulled out a small red balloon and threw it at Tsunade. Tsunade was suddenly covered in red paint. Naruto used a small distraction to run towards a gate. Just as he was about to reach the exit, he stopped. He listened, but he didn't hear the sounds of pursing feet. Turning around, he watched as Swanda was kneeling on the ground in shock. He watched as the other lady came over and whispered a few things into her ear. Then suddenly she stood up and disappeared over the large fence. Naruto walked over to the lady. Is she going to be okay? I didn't mean to hurt her." Shizen was a bit surprised by the boy. Looking down, she couldn't stay mad at him. "It's not your fault. It's just that Lady Tsunade is, well, afraid of blood. It brings back bad memories. That red paint you used kind of made her think it was blood." "Bad memories? Like what?" asked Naruto. Shizen took a deep breath. Her brother and lover both died in her hands. She loved them both very much, but she was unable to save them. Blood just seems to trigger back those awful memories. Naruto just looked down at the spot she was standing. "That's terrible." Shizen looked up, so it would be better just to let her be. Shizen looked down, but was surprised to see nothing. Naruto? Somewhere else Tsunade had managed to get all the paint off, and quietly walked out of her apartment. She was enjoying the fresh air when she suddenly growled, "What do you want now, brat?" Naruto clumsily jumped out of the tree. "I want to apologize from earlier. I shouldn't have thrown that red paint at you." Tsunade closed her eyes. "Don't worry about it." "Tsunade, how can you be a medic and be afraid of blood?" asked Naruto. Tsunade looked Naruto in the eye. "I ask myself that every day. I guess I'm just not a medic anymore. After tomorrow, I will no longer be a shinobi of this village." Naruto suddenly looked alarmed. "Why not? I'm being called back to the village to stay permanently, but I can't do that. It's cause..." Naruto cut her off. "'Cause it brings back bad memories? I know about your brother and lover, and I think you're a bit pathetic." Tsunade looked angrily at Naruto. "You Don Dash, you're right, I don't know. But I do know one thing. I don't think neither your brother or lover would want you to mourn over them forever. I think you become a medic for a reason. To avoid things like that to ever happen again," replied Naruto. He suddenly whipped out a kunai and made a little cut on his thumb. Tsunade watched with interest as he poured blood onto the kunai. Then he threw it at Tsunade. Tsunade easily dodged it, but the liquid flung all over the place. Blood splattered on Tsunade's face. She shivered in fear. But Naruto continued talking. "I believe that you're the great medic nin you are. That's why I don't think something as simple as blood can take you down." Tsunade looked Naruto in the eyes. "Why do you care so much?" Naruto was a bit taken back by the question. "I don't know. I just felt like I had to do something. It's just who I am. My dream is to one day be the greatest shinobi ever. But there's more. I want to be able to protect everyone too, even if they become my greatest pain." Tsunade at that moment couldn't seem to understand the boy's intentions, but she had understood his words. The little 6-year-old seemed to be wiser than he intentionally let on. There was something in this boy that had made her rethink her whole life. She quietly stood up. Naruto watched with anticipation, wondering what she would do. Then suddenly she flicked his forehead. Naruto went flying about 20 yards back. "Ah." Tsunade wiped the blood off her face and dusted herself. "That's for earlier, brat." Naruto was dazed, but he managed to respond. "What the hell? You old bat. What's your pro dash?" Tsunade was suddenly on top of him, but Naruto jumped out of the way and raced into the streets. Tsunade just gave a laugh. "What an interesting boy you are, Naruto Namikaze." Flashback and Jutsu released Naruto and Yugao rushed forward. Both with a sword in hand, they raced in a zigzag pattern. Dan flashed through some hand seals. Naruto and Yugao both stopped in their tracks. They watched Dan suddenly leave his body. "What did he do?" asked Naruto as he tried to analyze the jutsu. "It's almost like he turned into a ghost," replied Yugao. "We need to be careful." "He's coming!" shouted Naruto as they watched Dan fly through the air. Yugao raced forward and lashed at Dan, though her sword simply phased through him. As Dan phased through, he suddenly pulled out a kunai. Coming from underneath, he attempted to stab her, but Naruto blocked the strike. Naruto grabbed Yugao and spun her around, putting her in a position to attack. Though just like before, her strike simply phased through. Naruto and Yugao jumped back to catch their breath. "Yugao, do you know what jutsu this is?" Yugao shook her head. "No, and it seems awfully a lot like your Chink." "Yeah, it does, but he's just turning himself into a ghost instead. We need to strike at the same time he does. If we can force him to regenerate, then we would get an opportunity to seal him," replied Naruto. Yugao says, "I know Naruto, but can't you just use the transportation to Chink?" Naruto put his hand over his left eye. "I could, but I'm not sure what would happen. It could possibly cut the connection, but it could also not, as well." Naruto activated his Mangekyo Sharingan and looked at Yugao. As he looked at her, he could see a slight blur around her face. "My vision is becoming much more blurry. I need to let it recover, especially my left eye." Yugao sighed. I guess it can't be helped. Let's go. Naruto deactivated the Mangekyo and nodded his head. Then suddenly they both rushed forward. As they approached Dan formed a hand seal and disappeared. "Where'd he go?" shouted Yugao. Naruto looked back and forth, and his eyes caught the cloud of chakra behind Yugao's head. "Yugao?" Naruto dashed forward and pushed Yugao out of the way. His Sharingan watched as the cloud of chakra turned into Dan. Kunai at hand, he lashed out at Naruto. Line Minato dashed left and right. Wooden stakes appeared from the ground, lashing out at Minato. Though thanks to Minato's superior speed, he managed to maneuver his way around the stakes. Though the constant dodging of Tobirama's water jutsus were taking a toll, Orochimaru just laughed as he watched Minato run around for his life. But suddenly he felt a sting on his chest. Pulling down his shirt, he looked down at the seal on his chest. The seal that allowed him to use Fuin Jutsu in the barrier, and it was coming apart. It seems the seal has a time limit. This could be a problem, so I should finish this quickly. Orochimaru flashed a few hand seals and increased it to all he could control. This action did not go unnoticed by Minato as he began to formulate a plan. He looks down at his chest and suddenly increases the power of the Edo Tensei. He must be losing some control, or the barrier is also starting to affect him. If I can stall him long enough, I'll force him to drop the barrier. Minato was suddenly caught off guard, as Hashirama finally managed to land a blow. It didn't penetrate his skin, but it took the breath out of Minato. As Minato tried to get some space, Tobirama came up from behind with his Raijin blade. Minato formed a Rasengan and attempted to redirect it. Though Tobirama was too close, he managed to slice Minato's left arm off. Line Naruto's eyes morphed into the 8-rounded star, but before he could unleash it to Chink, Dan was suddenly launched into the ground. Naruto watched as Tsunade came down on him with all her might. Naruto grabbed Yugao and jumped back. Tsunade was soon at their side. "I will take care of him. You too. Get out of here." Naruto pulled out the large scroll from his back. "Are you sure about this?" "Lady Tsunade, allow us to assist," shouted Yugao. Tsunade shook her head. "I must do this alone." Tsunade raced forward, and Yugao protested. "But Yugao, this is something Tsunade must do," interrupted Naruto. He watched as Tsunade fought Dan. "We must allow her to do this, in order for her to move on." Yugao also watched the fight. "So, what now?" Naruto looked over at the giant barrier and the 4 sand ninja keeping it active. "I'm going to take down the barrier by catching at least one of them under Tsukuyomi." Yugao turned her head to the side. "Tsukuyomi? It's a Mangekyo Sharingan Jinjutsu. It's probably the only thing powerful to break through the barrier and be able to work," explained Naruto. "Then wouldn't just a regular Jinjutsu work?" asked Yugao. Naruto's side. "Barriers are meant to keep things out. That included people, ninjutsu, and even genjutsu. Though if powerful enough, one can break through the barrier." Yugao sighed. "You're too smart for your age, Naruto. I doubt most jounin even know this much knowledge." Naruto shrugged his shoulders. "I don't care, let's go." Naruto and Yugao dashed across the arena. Yugao and Naruto suddenly felt the increase of heat in the air. Looking to their right, they watched as an enormous wave of fire flew towards them. Naruto and Yugao flashed through some hand seals. Water release. Water trumpet jutsu. Water release. Wild water jutsu. Naruto and Yugao both unleashed a huge torrent of water toward the flames. An enormous sheet of steam covered both Yugao and Naruto. Yugao and Naruto went into a 2-man manji formation. "Who did that?" asked Yugao. Naruto looked around. "I don't know, but whoever was is very powerful. I've never seen such a powerful fire release." Suddenly out of the steam came out Madara Uchiha. Naruto's eyes widened in fear. "Where weren't you fighting Kakashi, Yamato, and Guy?" Madara Uchiha rose an eyebrow, and Naruto shouted in anger, "Answer Emi." Madara Uchiha smiled. "Oh, those 3. I already took care of them." Line Guy and Yamato were on the ground, both knocked out. while Kakashi had managed to sit himself up. Pulling the kunai out of his leg, he's too strong. Even for the three of us. His Sharingan was just too much, Madara Uchiha. Line Naruto's eye widened. You took all three of them out? Yugao tugged at Naruto's arm. If he took out Kakashi, Guy, and Yamato, we need to get out of here. Naruto suddenly disappeared in a swirl of leaves. Madara simply looked up and saw Naruto coming down with his sword. Madara simply lifted his kunai and blocked the strike. Naruto charged the sword with lightning release and managed to cut right through the kunai. Slightly impressed, Madara jumped back. Impressive, young Uchiha. You've already reached the third stage, and you seem to have excellent control of three elements. Naruto flashed through some hand seals. Fire release. Fire comet jutsu. Madara rose an eyebrow as he copied the jutsu. Make that four. And I don't seem to recognize this jutsu. They both unleashed a fiery red glob of fire towards each other, canceling each other's jutsus. Madara begun talking. I was right to think you were the strongest Uchiha around, but you're not to my expectations. I'll kill you now. Madara suddenly appeared behind Naruto and slashed with a kunai. Naruto managed to lift his sword to block the strike. Madara looked down at Naruto. He was able to track me, even at my fastest level of speed. He's good. That's why I must take him down. He would just be a problem in the future. Madara jumped back and unleashed another fire jutsu. Fire release. Uchiha Great Fire. Naruto recognized the jutsu from Sasuke and Miyuki's fight, though this fire jutsu was on a whole different level. Naruto knew that an ordinary water jutsu couldn't stop this. Suddenly, his eyes morphed into the 8-rounded star. Madara watched as the flames engulfed Naruto. Smirking, he turned around hoping to find the caster of the jutsu, though suddenly an enormous staff came down on him. Madara jumped to the side. They just keep coming and coming, complained Madara. The third Hokage stood in his battle attire a few feet away of Madara. I'm sorry I'm late. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage. Madara grinned. I thought I recognized you. You're the one from the Sarutobi clan. The one Tobirama named as the third. Hiruzen rose an eyebrow. How does he know that? Shouldn't he have been dead by then? Madara suddenly dashed forward, and the third did the same. Line Naruto laid in his dimension panting hard. That was too close. Naruto slowly stood up. I've rested enough. Naruto suddenly warped himself back into the real world. Line 15 minutes. That was how long Naruto had been gone. In those 15 minutes, Hiruzen had begun to tire out. Not being as young as he used to be, and not to include Madara, had infinite chakra. Hiruzen was coming down to his last legs. Madara is too strong to seal. I think even Minato would have trouble sealing him. Unfocused for just a second was all it took for Madara to duck under his staff and cut him across his chest. Hiruzen spit out blood as he fell to the ground. Madara took no time and came down with his kunai, though suddenly his arm was cut in half. Madara jumped to the side and allowed himself to regenerate. How are you still alive? You underestimate me, Madara, replied Naruto. Hiruzen spit out blood. Naruto, run, he's too strong. Naruto grunted. Don't underestimate me either, old man. I still have a few tricks up my sleeve. Madara suddenly appeared in front of Naruto. Too late. Madara looked into Naruto's eyes as tempted to land the final blow. Then his grin fell off his face. He watched as Naruto's eyes morphed into the 8-rounded star. In shock, he phased through Naruto. He's unlocked the Mangekyo Sharingan, and he has Kamui. Madara jumped to the side. You have the Mangekyo Sharingan? Hiruzen's eyes widened in shock. Impossible. This young boy managed to awaken the Mangekyo Sharingan. Naruto grinned. Now I'm going to take you down. Madara closed his eyes for a brief second. If he traps me in the Kamui dimension, I'll be stuck there forever. My attacks will only phase through him. I need to force him to materialize in order to kill him. Suddenly he remembered Yugao. Then I'll just attack the girl. Madara disappeared, leaving Naruto and Hiruzen confused. Where is he going? Naruto's eyes widened in realization. Yugao? Naruto dashed towards Yugao. Hiruzen slowly stood up. Damn, it's obviously a trap. He must be worried about Naruto's Mangekyo. As well that ability. It sounds the same as that one that man has. Hiruzen took a deep breath and signed a few hand seals. That man must be somehow connected to Madara. I have to make sure there is no possible way that Madara can ever be revived. Reaper Death Seal. Line Yugao was moving around the steam. Where did he go? Yugao finally managed to get out of the steam and was shocked to see Madara right there, pulling out her own sword. She blocked his initial strike, but Madara kept at it. He easily disposed of her sword and went for the kill. Then suddenly Naruto appeared in front of him. Susanoo, the rib cage, appeared around Naruto, protecting them from Madara's strike. Madara just chuckled. You remind me of a younger me. This Susanoo is incomplete. Suddenly Madara's sword lit on fire and cracked the rib cage. Naruto couldn't believe it. He's putting fire release into his sword. And he cracked my Susanoo. Madara made a deeper crack and was inches from breaking through when suddenly he gasped, What the hell? Looking behind him, he watched as an arm was extended from the third Hokage's stomach. Then behind the third Hokage was the Death God. Madara growled, You used the Uzumaki clan's forbidden jutsu, damn you! But I won't allow you to pull my soul out. Naruto watched the Death God in shock. That's the Death God. The Death God himself looked down at Naruto. He can see me. Is he a reincarnate? No. It's too soon to judge. Though how can he see me? I didn't know it was possible to resist the Death God, shouted Hiruzen as he struggled to pull out Madara. He was a former reincarnate of my nephew, Indra. He has the ability to resist my power, just like Ashura's reincarnate. Naruto suddenly poured more chakra into his Susanoo. This caused the Susanoo to grow a head and arms. Naruto had entered the incomplete Susanoo phase. Yugao looked up in awe. Amazing. Using the arms, he used them to assist Hiruzen. Together they yanked out Madara's soul. You bastards. I'll be back. The Rinne rebirth is the ultimate jutsu. Not even the Death God can keep me away. Hiruzen groaned in pain as Madara was pulled in through his body. I knew it. He was expecting to be reanimated. Thought this jutsu will keep him in check. Naruto dropped his Susanoo and fell to his knees. Yugao caught him. Naruto. Hiruzen looked at the panting Naruto. Are you okay, Naruto? Naruto nodded. I'm just so exhausted. You need to take it easy, lectured Yugao. Naruto looked up at the barrier. You won't have much time, old man. I'll take down the barrier. It's up to you to assist my father. Yugao's eyes widened. You're going to use that? I thought you didn't want to risk your left eye. Hiruzen looked down at Naruto. Don't worry, Naruto. I knew my fate once I used this jutsu. I'll take down the barrier and once and for all kill Orochimaru. I must fix my mistake from long ago. I wasn't asking you for permission, responded Naruto as he suddenly gazed at the barrier. He then focused his eye on the four-armed man, Kamui. Thank you for watching part 4 of What If Naruto Was Neglected by His Family and Had the Strongest Sharingan. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Anime T23 for more exciting What If scenarios and anime content. Hit the notification bell icon so you never miss an update. See you in the next episode.